What's going on, everybody? This is a post or a pre-show little bonus here on YouTube.com here as you're watching the podcast for episode number 20 of Renegade Radio for Pursue or Happen. Normally, we don't really say that we're going to do a pre-show before we record, but sometimes on the YouTube channel we do. You see all the footage, the whole footage of everything that got recorded before we actually go live and do the live Facebook broadcasts. Normally, there's extra stuff in there on the YouTube version. That's why I always prefer the YouTube version more than I do the other version or the Facebook version. But it's all good. Hope you guys are having a good time. And tonight we got, as of this recording anyway, we have Dick Warlock. He's the horror legend icon from Halloween 2, as well. He's done lots of other things with Kurt Russell. He's been his stunt double back in the day, and we're gonna have him on. We're gonna have his son Lance on. It's gonna be a good time. Good, and we might be joined by Michael Strider. And I did pick one co-host as requested, and it's not Screaming Sam this time. Surprise, surprise! It's somebody actually different. But I want to give Sam a little bit of a break because I know uh, we we will we do a lot of stuff together, and I figure we'll give him a break this time. He deserves it. I will answer. All right, what's going on, everybody? We're live here on Renegade Radio, episode number 20 in total, but we are actually on episode number 4 of season 2. And it's a little bit of a different environment for tonight's episode because we don't have everybody here tonight because that was done on purpose. If you recall last week, uh, the person who we're having on tonight is the horror legend Dick Warlock, along with his son Lance, and possibly Michael Strider again, who I call well, he's my what you call it. He's the honorary crew member because he and I go way back, and he's always been pretty good to me in interviews and stuff. And we've never met, but and a majority of these people I've never met in person, but I know them from internet and everything, and that's the world we live in. Where this is how we communicate most of the time, and that's okay. But I'm your host with the most, Frankie Slauson. My guest co-host should be coming here pretty soon, and it's not who you think. Everybody will probably think that would be Screaming Sam tonight, but we're giving Screaming Sam a little bit of a break because he deserves a break. He's been with me, being my right hand man for since we began, and it's been great. So I'm excited, for this. So I picked somebody else that you would probably not expect, just because. So I think it should go good. And he's getting on here, or trying to get on here, Mister John Roberts, I think. Hey, there he is. How's it going there?
And did you make that size? Oh, yeah, there you go.
I can hear
Hey,
you.
my full volume.
Come on, turn this TV down. Why you got that on so loud?
Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I can hear you.
all right. Well, we're already live already.
Uh,
Got live already going. I was just doing some introductions while we're waiting for you, because I just literally got back to town. I went with my neighbor to Grand Forks. He wanted to go to Grand Forks today and do some stuff. So I told him I had to be back by at least 5 or 5:30 to get stuff ready, and we didn't get back to like 15 minutes ago.
wow, you didn't
Yeah.
even tell me you were here.
Well, I mean, it was a rush thing. It's like we didn't have enough time to really do a whole lot. I could have came myself, which I was going to originally, but then he wanted me to go with him, so because he had doctor's appointments and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
we're good.
I will go. Sooner or later I will be coming to your place. I just didn't want to be a bother, like all of a sudden surprise you and not give you a heads up, like, oh, I'm here now. They'll show
Well,
me the
odds are I wouldn't have been there anyway. I think I left there by 12:30 today.
Yeah, we didn't get there till probably about 2, maybe 2
Yeah,
o'clock.
and you'd be better off catching me at home.
Yeah. Well, or at least planning the adventure anyway. At least to let you
Sure.
know when I'm showing up, so you can plan for
Right,
it.
right, right.
I don't really like surprises either. I mean, I do, but I don't. Sometimes. Well,
Oh,
anyway,
yeah,
I'm the host with the most, Frankie Slauson, and I'm joined by my guest co-host, but of course a crew member, legendary radio announcer John Roberts. You were the one who I picked because I figure you and I are going to be doing some things together later on this year in your studio, where people will be able to see us and stuff. And I just figured that you I want you to be a part of a lot of these interviews too, and even if it's just one on one or whatever. But this was a requested. Well, I requested you, but it was requested from the guests that we're having tonight, Dick Warlock, and his son. Because he's up there in age, hard of hearing, and all that
hmm
stuff. Blah blah blah. He'll be 84 years old next week.
yeah.
So it's just
You're
better to
telling
have.
me I can relate to him a little better?
Well, sure, but I mean, it's like the lesser the better. We'll just say. But
So you're not saying I'm old?
I won't. No, I apologize for saying that a couple weeks ago. I shouldn't have said that.
I'm just kidding you,
You're a
man.
you're a senior citizen, so which is probably weird to hear that too.
Almost. I'm not even 60 yet.
Well, don't you feel like you're 80 though, or 90, or 100, or 300 years old? I don't know.
Yeah, all of the
Anyway,
above. Yeah.
how you been this week or this past weekend? What have you been up to?
Good, good. Couple hockey games, couple funerals. Yeah, it was kind of an odd week. How
Wow,
about you?
did you have a funeral at the hockey game, and a hockey game at the funeral, or?
Kind of. Actually, I had two funerals in one day, which was a bummer. And then
Wow.
that same day, after leaving the second funeral, I just left the prayer service. Found out another guy I know died. So yeah, three in one
Wow.
day. Crazy.
That would do me in for the day. I'd probably start drinking right away, probably after.
Yeah. How about
But
you? What'd you do all week? Anything?
I basically just worked, at the casino, and watch everybody spend their money foolishly, and just like always, and I mean,
Sure.
same old. I you know I'm not much of a sports guy because I don't really care that much about sports, but I was hoping that the Lions were going to go all the way. I don't know. Did
Yeah,
you
I kind of
feel
was
the same
too.
way?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I just wanted somebody from our conference, and I don't care who it'd be. Well, I don't like the Packers, but yeah, I wouldn't have minded the Lions going all the way at all. I was kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would have figured that that at least that we would have to see a repeat because I believe the Chiefs and the 49ers already had a match at Super Bowl, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah,
Couple
they
years
did a
back,
couple
right?
Super Bowls ago. It wasn't that
Yeah,
long ago anyway.
yeah, because I feel like it was like just a couple years ago or so, But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I tell you what, for the Chiefs, as far as the podcast that they do, the New Heights, stuff that he and his brother do, I like that. I mean, they are entertaining, But as far as football, just like it's just another. They're just trying to be another legendary figure, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of getting sick of Taylor Swift too. So
Well, I've been sick of her for a long time. A lot of people get mad at me because
yeah,
they're like I should be a supporter, but it's like I support good talent. And people that won't charge you $10,000 to go see him in a concert.
I don't know. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if I can name one song from her. I
Oh
just
man,
know who she is.
that song
I,
"Set It Off" was a #1 hit. I know that was still on the radio. Well, I mean, do you listen
no,
to mainstream radio or do you just like do your own thing? Like, have you?
no. If I do, I listen to pretty much classic rock radio.
Oh, okay. So
I
you're
don't
here
listen to
to take
any
the
pop.
kids.
No.
I thought it was sugar, or I thought it was soda. Anyway, little humor there, little humor.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so tonight's guest is legendary horror icon Dick Warlock, and we're going to be joined by him and his son Lance, who we've had on the show before, and rock and roll photographer Michael Strider, who was on last week when we interviewed Don Stroud. And what you what did you take with you when we after we did the interview with Don? Like, what was your? Because you seemed like you were pretty happy. It made you smile a lot after we talked to him last week.
Um, I don't know. You think you've been lucky enough to get to do a lot of different fun things in life, and then you talk to some of these guys, and it's like I'm junior varsity, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I've always.
and the fact that they're willing to share their stories is
Yeah,
fun.
well, I've always been fascinated with people who act and stuff because I always like that type of stuff. It's
Oh,
like
sure.
it took somebody's imagination to create something to get an idea that everybody will go along with and to produce and put on screen or whatever. I mean,
Yep.
that's all what it's about. We can't give up on imagination, or creativity. I don't care who you are. I mean, somebody
Right.
has to think of the idea, then you make it happen. Now, I just saw the latest trailer for the new Ghostbuster movie, Frozen Empire, just released today. I'm very excited about it. I'm not gonna lie, a little boner after seeing that. Little boner. I'd say big
What'd you
boner,
think of
but
the all female?
that
What'd you think of the all female version?
boner kind of went down. It kind of. I mean, it was okay. I have it on 4K disc. I mean, so I do have it in my collection. But it just didn't feel like a genuine Ghostbuster movie because none of the people that were the Ghostbusters were Ghostbusters. They're all other characters.
Right. Right.
And I just
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I mean, I appreciate it because it's Ghostbusters, but I just don't like how they try to erase original history. So I'm sorry. And to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 will always be the best. The second one will always be better than the first. People love the first one. Fuck, I love the second one. Vigo the Carpathian, come on now. That's the best bad guy.
Yeah. You got one there.
Yeah. People say that Ghostbusters 2 was horrible. No, it wasn't. It was a blockbuster. It was a smash. A lot of people love that more than part one. You know, I think so. I mean, and I
Yeah.
watched enough YouTube content and interviews with people to kind of to say that. I mean, everybody
Sure.
likes the classics, but just like with Back to the Future, to me, the second one's the best one. They're in the future. Find DeLorean. Wonder what the future's going to be like. That sort of thing. I like that.
Yeah.
And
No.
of course, if you're a Western fan,
Um,
then part three was pretty good too. But they're all good.
Well, yeah, I'll watch them. I don't know.
I've been on TV a lot, but I have I have them all on 4K, so I'm working on getting my new TV
Sure.
now. That's my next goal here. Finally getting that making that happen, and now that I got my office stuff kind of already sorted out, there's still stuff that I still need to do, but it'll happen in time. I just one thing at a time. I'm just happy to not have to be showing my crotch anymore on screen anymore.
Thank God for green screens.
Yeah, but you remember how like when I had the snow feature on that banner, it was like literally going
Yeah.
right through me. I'm just like, oh, how
Yeah.
fast.
Do you have like cable or satellite or anything up there? Or you just rough it?
I have the Garden Valley Stream package.
Oh,
I
sure.
have that,
Yeah.
and I it works out good for the most part. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Uh, I wouldn't complain too much about it because it does well. Let me hold on here. Let me just that on there, the link there, so you can share that with everybody here. Okay. So our guest should be coming on here in another 20 minutes here. I just want to make sure that everybody just text them. So other than your sports stuff, I mean, and your funerals, I mean, anything else been going on at all, or anything you're looking forward to now that we're into almost February now?
I got a MC and a big fundraiser for a friend of ours was in a bad accident.
Okay.
He's in a rehab hospital out in Colorado now. He's going to be paralyzed from pretty much the chest down. He's not. I don't think he's going to get movement of his arms or anything.
What the hell happened?
I think he'll be able to go without a ventilator.
How did that happen?
Yeah, so I don't know. He didn't have a seatbelt on, is about all I know.
Jesus.
And yeah, he's got 5 kids. So we've been working on that, putting together some stuff for like the silent auctions, and I'm a big cat fisherman, so we're putting together a half-day guided trip for one of the door prizes or raffles or whatever, but
Uh-huh.
just kind of messing around with that stuff. Got another month of hockey here, or another few weeks of hockey, and that's about it. Getting ready, May is when it starts, is when it gets crazy for me. That's the start of my busy season. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that
So
when the weather does start warming up, and we know that it'll be warm up for a long period of time, and then more or less for me, it's just when we start having more light in the day, so when it's not like dark at 5 or 6 anymore. Because I don't like driving home at night. I don't like driving anywhere at night if I don't have to. Never know about those damn deer and everything, or anything else. But
wow.
it's more or less the deer that for me than anything else. It's not even a car, drunk drivers or anything like that. It's mostly just deer that I've had to deal with before. But I wanna, I wanna be able to, like we already were talking about doing some stuff, at your studio and everything, and I've been looking forward to that because it'll be kind of a new level for the show and the new level for the audience, and maybe who knows, maybe if people see more of the professionalism and clarity of us, maybe who knows, maybe we'll get more people going. Maybe you have a way to let people know on your Grand Forks Best Source website and everything, because I've seen your site, I've seen all your streams, and you got a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yeah, yeah, we do. Uh, and I'm lucky because I only do my certain things. I mean, besides going on location and stuff, but all these other shows, that's other people taking care of them. My partner and I, we kind of have different hours. A lot of times, like today, now he didn't show up for work until right before 11.
Okay.
But he knew I'd be leaving probably 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then we got another producer that works with us a couple of days a week too, so
Okay.
that helps. But yeah, and that producer also hosts a few of the shows. So, but yeah, we had 2 girls from the Sugar Beaters and their coach roller derby team on today. It was pretty fun.
I got the post the
I
link
get
or
there,
whatever, the
yeah.
live link. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, like because I follow your page, so anytime you go live,
Oh
like
yeah,
go
yeah.
live, people will know because you
Oh
get
yep, yep.
notified.
You got the
Yeah, yeah,
notification bell.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I don't even
absolutely.
have that, man.
Oh, well,
I
you
to
know,
be
notice.
honest with you, I have only watched maybe 3 or 4 shows I've ever done.
Okay.
Once was on a boat in Greece, showing this kid who worked on this big boat what I do for a living. Another time was to show my mother what I do for a living,
Uh-huh.
and maybe 1 or 2 random ones that I was just showing somebody else. But I don't watch any of them.
Oh.
Very rarely. I'll watch some of the other guys'
Uh,
shows, but I don't watch any stuff I do. Nothing.
you don't
Whether
watch
it's
you don't
a
watch our
good,
stuff.
bad, controversial, or what, I just I wait and see what everybody else says about it, and that's it. I just go from there.
You don't take time to watch our stuff because I always think our stuff's pretty good. Yeah, since you've been on it
I
now.
I I go through it, but the way I hate rewatching something that I already did live because then you don't enjoy it as much. You critique it,
Huh.
and then it doesn't seem as natural. It doesn't seem like you're just going with the flow, you know?
Oh well, I always.
Otherwise you find things and you let these little dinky little things bother you
Huh.
because oh I should have said that or oh I no I would to me no to me you go with it, and that's why one of the other reasons I don't watch it because I can't do it without critiquing.
So
If
you're
that
hard on
makes any
yourself.
sense.
You're very hard on yourself.
No, because I don't ever watch my stuff. As
No, but if you
far
were
as I'm
to, you'd
concerned,
be really
everything's
hard on
good.
yourself. You know, but I mean, whatever. I mean,
I used to be.
yeah,
Yeah, I used to be. Long. I used to really be. Yeah. Not so much now.
yeah,
You know, you can do it for so long, as long as you're confident, I guess.
yeah,
Um, but I put myself in situations where, you know, like whether it be like sports play-by-play, which is out of the realm of a lot of even broadcasting people, because of the names, the numbers, the rules, you know, and then doing all kinds of different sports. And so if I'm ever hard on myself, it's probably more when I'm doing sporting events than I am anything else.
sure, sure, sure. No, I understand because you know it's like I used to be hard on myself too, and I watch everything I do, especially now, especially since we've been doing the show and everything. I after we get done, I always like to spend a little bit of time watching because there's a lot of funny moments and stuff, and there's a lot of memorable,
Oh, sure.
really happy moments that I like to take in again because even like Don Stroud interview last week, it turned out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
I just wish that we all had a room like your studio like together, like we had a way just to make everybody let everybody come and do all that stuff all the time because it's like I feel the show would be better. Like it would be way better that nobody would interrupt as much. Because Mad Dog interrupts a lot.
And,
And it's like, oh my
and,
God.
but you know, it's tough too because I don't have a lot of experience doing these Zoom type shows. I mean, I've done a couple dozen of them until I started doing this with you guys. I I still have to have my wife hook me up, and
Yeah,
I'm just not very computer smart. I'm lucky I have producers at work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do it.
sure.
Um,
Oh, I
but
understand.
it takes a while to get used to the not stepping on each other. I am still having a harder time learning it, but yeah, that's the one good thing about a studio that doesn't ever happen.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get you. Because I mean, it's like sometimes it's like you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I haven't really had to really get on anybody yet about things, but that's why we have our little meetings sometimes. Because sometimes we'll have a meeting here and there, and whether you're able to participate or not, we kind of let everybody know, what everyone get everybody's thoughts. I never thought I'd ever be in a position like that. But when I originally started to do this show, it was just supposed to be just Sam and I, and that's about it. I didn't think about anybody else or whatever, but I wanted to add more people because I figured let's see who's out there that really would like to be a part of something like this. So I'm just happy as a peach, in Georgia, just that this has been working out, and we'll get Mama T back eventually whenever she's able to get a phone because I don't know what's really going on. I haven't talked to her at all. She hasn't been communicating at all, so I'm just giving her some time. She'll come back when she's
Yeah.
ready. She'll come back
Hmm.
when she's ready. For as far as for
Right.
next week goes, I don't have any guests planned for next week, so I think we're just gonna do a group thing, just a normal old style podcast of just no guests, just us, just the crew, because I think we need that after all these guests that we've had, and I'm grateful for not only just the fact that you guys helping me make this happen, but then the fact that everybody's it's worked out. So everybody has said yes. We've had like almost 6 or 7 guests on in this whole month. I think that's a record for me. As far as you know, promising somebody and delivering. Because you never know, people could change their mind, and we've had that happen a few times where somebody said they were going to be on, and then they scheduling conflicts or whatever happened. So
Well,
I
things
just don't want
happen.
to. I don't want to look like a liar saying that I'm building up somebody and then I don't deliver. I want to prove
Yeah,
that.
that's like this summer there might be a couple of iffy days for me because like I said, come May, that's my busy. I'm busier than crap into the second week of September.
Oh,
But
that's fine.
I usually know in advance by a week or so.
Sure.
Just for one thing, work we do. There's more people do outside events and we do more live on location things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so, work comes first.
absolutely. Looks like one of our guests is coming. Lance Warlock here. He was in Halloween 2 as well. He was a boombox boy, and he does music like scoring and stuff like for
Oh,
movies and stuff.
yeah,
He's out of the Seattle, Washington area, so he's 2 hour difference. It's 4:22 over there. His dad lives in Tennessee, I guess, so it's an hour
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Dick's in Tennessee.
Yeah. So yeah, so it looks like
I,
Lance is popping in anyway. He's trying to anyway.
I like Tennessee. I think it's nice.
I've never been there before. I've been trying to plan what I
Yeah.
want to do for a vacation here pretty soon. Hey, what's
Oh
up?
my gosh.
You got in. Well,
Uh,
it's like
I
you
was just screwing around. Don't worry. Don't mind me. I'm sorry.
it's like we went back in time into October and grabbed you and brought you back over here now. I think you were wearing the same shirt and everything, the same background and everything.
Hey, let's see. Let's see what he's saying. What? We're getting it, man.
Okay. Well, perfect. I let Lance do all the hard work, getting his father in and everything to the Zoom conference. But we
That's
are
what
live,
I'd have to
just so
do.
just so you guys are aware, we are live on Facebook as of right now, like we always are. So we do have a little bit of an audience, I believe. Anyway, I haven't been checking. 'Cause I've been
Hi,
just
Facebook.
normally we have Sam do all the checking and everything on the guest thing.
Hello, hello.
I got 2 viewers anyway. Tony Brennan Jr. and Ted Cole. Yeah,
Tony and Ted.
this is Lance Warlock and Lance. This is John Roberts. John
John,
Roberts.
nice to meet you.
Nice to
John's
meet
a,
you.
John's a radio guy like me, but he's really been in the business more than I have. And Lance is, Lance is Lance. No, Lance is cool. Lance is a cool guy. Lance has been involved in the entertainment industry for a very long time. Almost sounds like make it sound like he's in the porn industry when I say the entertainment business, but that's not what I mean. But he's done a lot of good stuff. He's done. I mean, yeah, I mean, Lance, you could tell him kind of like a brief history of you, a little synopsis of what you're all about and who you are.
My synopsis was all music related, and honestly, the whole entire jump into any kind of film all came from dad and being there, meaning on the set of whatever it was, and so many times just almost arbitrarily being put to work, which who wouldn't want that? I mean, I never took that as an advantage because it was way too cool, and I knew how cool it was, and it was just
Yeah.
that was one of those things that I mean, I don't know. There's probably a lot of or not a lot of people that have grown up that way and had seen things, and oh, now he's phoning. Let me see if it's hello.
I have that professional hello. Well, anyway, so yes, so this is Lance Warlock and John Roberts, along with myself, Frankie Slauson. We're going to be interviewing Lance's dad, Dick Warlock, here pretty soon once he gets in. But it's only 6:25 right
Is
now.
that all about?
Got time. But anyway, so while he's on the phone, anyway, with
So where's he calling from?
he's calling from Washington, and Dick is calling from
Okay.
Tennessee.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we'll have all the East Coast, West Coast, Central.
How about that one?
That's pretty exciting, huh? Yeah, and I told Sam, I said, as much as I would love for him to be a part of this, which everybody would have thought I would have chose him, and I think, because he always does stuff with me. I want to give him like a little break, I just wanted to give him, because he's done so much with me. He's been there since the beginning, and when I need him for like interviews with other people, I just figure, well, he's always had the time, and we're going to be doing something with Bill and Sherry Kinnison pretty soon, a 1 hour interview soon, hopefully before Valentine's Day, because that's Sam's original brother, Bill. So yeah, so we're looking forward to doing that, but Sam and I will be doing that separately from the show and everything. That'll be an exclusive.
Yeah, like I said, because there's going to be a few times coming up here this summer. I might have a hard time making it, but
Well, that's
are you
fine.
going to do a? Are you guys going to do a show President's Day?
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna have Vincent Barry come back on for a second half. He's gonna bring us the wrestler Black Bart because I felt bad for only giving him so much time because normally he's used to talking for like 2.5 hours or so, because it's wrestling.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I talk wrestling a lot. Same with Don Stroud. I should have took Sam's advice and just did one guest a show. That's why we're doing this now, and then next week I don't think there's going to be any guests at all as far as I'm concerned. I've been booking. I've been trying to book people, but it's like I have to do.
It ain't easy.
Well, it's not easy, but
I got to book. I have to book 3 shows a week, and it's tough. It used to be 4,
sure.
but it gets tough.
It looks like our guest of honor has arrived here. Dick Lemming.
Yeah, ask him about that.
Yeah, I didn't. Is that like your full name for like your real last name instead of Warlock or what? Are you a lemming, not a warlock?
That's the
Hey, there he is.
yeah, you can ask that guy what and why.
Yeah, I see he figured out the background zoom or background thing just like you did.
Due to a mess, I believe.
Yeah. How's it going there? Oh, we can't hear you yet. Hold on. Can't hear you yet.
Oh,
No, you missed it.
hey, but you look at mine. Mine says Laura.
Right. Mine's my wife and I. It's all alias.
Yeah.
Lance, Dana.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah, we can't hear you yet at all. Here, Dick. There.
Well, but if you put the headphones on, maybe you can hear me. He's like I am.
We don't have any
Still
audio.
can't hear.
There you go.
There he
Oh,
is. How's
Yep.
it going there?
I thought I heard something.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, you're there now.
Aha.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, I'm in.
Yes,
Yes, you are.
We definitely hear you. How's it going, Dick? Welcome to the show. Welcome to
Well,
Renegade.
thank you,
Yeah.
Sean and Laura. Okay. Hello, Laura. You're just so sweet looking with your hat and everything.
Thanks.
Oh,
I think you're
Oh,
using somebody
boy.
else's equipment. That's what I think. Anyway.
Yeah, it's my wife. It's my wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
all
your
my
wife.
computer stuff's at work.
Okay.
So I jump on her. My wife's got an office in her house, so I just go up and kick her out of her office for a while on Monday nights to do this with these guys. And so yeah, so you just have to live with me being Laura.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to live with your low bandwidth too. It's saying big letters, low bandwidth for Laura.
Oh yeah, we are in the middle of nowhere where I'm at. We're about an hour from Canada and right on the Minnesota North Dakota border.
Oh, it's
So
cold. up
we're
there, isn't
way
it?
up there.
I was going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
how's your weather right now?
Well, it's fine.
Beautiful.
Now. It's been like 35
40,
degrees or
it's
40.
in the 40s today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week ago it was 40 below zero with the wind chill. So that's
I worked
that's
on
what
one. I
we
worked
have up
on
here.
one film called Snowball Express, and we worked up in Telluride, not Telluride, Crested Butte, Colorado. And one morning it was
Yeah.
35 below, and we lost one of the crew members. He died during the middle of the night, froze to death.
Oh, geez.
No, he
No.
didn't. It was the
Yeah.
opposite. He turned his heater up too much. That's what it was.
Oh.
Oh,
And he'd been
carbon monoxide
drinking.
killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, we
that's
call
great.
that a Wednesday around here.
What do you
People
call
freeze
it?
to death walking from the bar to their car at the end of the night.
Oh,
Mm.
that's horrible.
Yeah, it
that's what
is.
people do around here, though. I mean, there's not a whole lot of great entertainment anyway, like where you guys are at. I mean, there is, but it's like it depends. But anyway, we welcome both you, both Dick and Lance. Lance and I kind of go way back. He
Go
was
ahead.
Lance was like a guest of mine on my original radio show back in 2006 when I first started doing radio interviews, and he was one of the first few people to actually give me a chance and see what we could do. And every once in a while, every few years or so, I'll get a hold of Lance, and he's never said no to me. He's always said yes every
Yeah.
chance I've asked him to do something. And I now this is amazing, you know.
I'll tell you, I've begged him the last two times he's been on to get me on with you guys, but he always refused. Is my nose growing, son?
Oh, absolutely, Pinocchio. Yeah.
That's a 2 or 3 Pinocchio for me,
Yeah,
man.
sure. Well, you and I have actually spoken before back in the days of doing a normal phone interview. I don't know if people still do that nowadays. I'm sure they still do. But since Zoom has come along, I've decided that let's do a podcast, but let's do it where we see who we're talking to, we know who we're talking to, and it just create great memories. And I'm just happy that you guys are here. My name is Frankie. Well, Frankie's my nickname and my stage name. You know, everybody has the same
Frankie.
name in the entertainment business, but Sean's my real name. And I've been doing radio since 2002 up in northern Minnesota and in South Dakota. I had a little time over there too. But I'm the host of the show, co-host, whatever, producer, founder, whatever. I I just always wanted to do something because I can't seem to get a job in normal radio around here because nobody will hire me. So I'm just doing my own thing and just figured, well, let's see what we can do. And it's been going pretty well so far.
You know, Sean, Lance and I were talking the other day about doing one together.
Yeah,
You know,
is this kind of a rare thing? I suppose you never don't do this at all, or as far as together doing something like
no.
that? Wow.
But yeah, I'd like to. What do you think of the idea of he and I doing one and host and co-host? He can host one week, I'll host the next.
Oh, well, geez, yeah, I think that'd be a
I
good
would.
idea. I mean, because with
Yeah.
all your stories and even with Lance's stories and stuff and everything that you guys have done, I mean, Jesus, I would definitely do that. Did you ever figure out a name for what you would call it if you?
No, and the idea just started 2 days ago. But no,
Call Lance Daniel Dick Lemming.
But I started making notes.
Oh, now it's
Yeah.
getting serious.
we don't have any clue how to do it. I mean, I know you can buy setups of the camera and the microphone that are pretty decent for this kind of stuff. What I'm using now is the headphone microphone that I use when I play Red Dead with my son.
Sure,
And
sure.
and I don't know how it sounds to you guys. Lance said it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds good here. I'm listening on a
Sure.
43-inch TV screen. You know,
Yeah.
LG. So
Yep.
you know, yeah,
And
it's fine.
you can buy a whole podcast setup. I don't think it's that much. You get yourself a little mixer and you know, if you're gonna run cameras, you can actually have the camera switcher too. And it's not that bad. You might want to spend just a little extra on microphones, and right now the cameras and everything, there's such good high quality pictures that it's not that bad. Doesn't cost
Yeah.
that much to do.
Like
Yeah.
right now, the quality of how you look, and even Lance. I mean, you guys both look fine. I mean, you look.
Well, how did? Is that you, Laura?
I thought that was Mama Cat.
I heard a female voice in there.
I did
too. Yeah, it was Laura. She's yelling at me from downstairs.
I thought it was
You guys
Mama
got
Cat.
good ears.
Yeah.
Must be the headphones.
It is. They're good.
Oh, that's
They're
good.
good.
Yeah, Lance said that he was going to take care of you, make sure that you got the best of the best. So that's awesome. Well, John, why don't you tell Dick and Lance again a little bit about yourself, and you know, this is your spotlight now a little bit since I picked you.
Well, I'm don't live far from Sean. We're both up in the tundra. I've been into music and entertaining pretty much my whole life. I went into radio directly out of high school. I got accepted to a really good school, the best school in the country, I think. But he was also mentioning nobody will hire him in radio. There is no such thing as real live radio anymore. I worked for iHeart for 21 years. We had 5 radio stations in my building. I had the #1 morning show on one station, and I had the #1 rock show on another station at a different time slot. And I still lost my job, corporate cuts, and the people that canned me didn't even know me. And I'd worked there for 21 years. So then we decided to, my nephew and I, who was selling for us at the time at iHeart, decided to try to be the first one to create a video podcast company. And we've been doing that for a few years now. We have a studio in a mall, and we're getting there. It's, you know, right. The day after, about 3 days after we got the key to start building the studio, COVID hit. And a lot of people, business owners, were going to follow me from radio to this. And well, then everything got put on hold for 2 years. But no, I still do some radio stuff. I do play-by-play hockey. I'm a racetrack announcer. I'm the home announcer here at one of the best dirt tracks in the country, and I work freelance at some other tracks now and then. And I'm a big time fishing fanatic. I'm a cat fisherman, actually. I got an awesome wife. I live in a log house out in the country on an old golf course, and I got 2 dogs, and life's pretty cool. And that's about it for me. And 2 grandkids.
I think your audio. I didn't even hear him at all. Your audio was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think did you hit the mute again or something? Because we don't hear you, Dick, there at all. Oh,
Did
yeah.
you?
Dick Lemming, we're reading your lips.
Yeah. Did you hit the mute on here, on the headset?
Did that pick it up?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Roger.
But the picture isn't here. I don't have a picture.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
might have to swipe either left or right or whatever for that.
Oh no, wait a minute. It's back now. I see you guys. He's drinking his beer there, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And
it's a
Yeah.
diet
Well,
beer.
oh yeah,
We'll get through it. Zoom can be interesting sometimes, but hey, whatever.
Okay, I must have messed up here. That's
Yep.
all.
You're fine. You're
Sounds
fine.
good now.
You're
Yeah.
our guest of honor. You can't mess up. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
But yes,
I know.
we're just happy to happy to have you here. Lance and I have been trying to do this for quite some time, and I kept bugging him through the texts, of when are we gonna get your dad on and everything, blah blah blah, and I'm glad that it's probably happened now because he said next week you're gonna be having your 84th birthday. Can you believe
Yep.
that, buddy? 84
Yeah.
years?
Awesome.
Jeez. What
Yeah.
an interesting life for a guy who still is pretty youthful, I'd say. Video games and
Oh,
everything.
well, I got to say something about Lance. He's very protective of me and between me and the industry because he knows that I'm really Dick Limming
Uh-huh.
and I'm a home guy playing video games with the kid. And,
Yep. Yep.
I don't really delve into the showbiz thing unless I go to a convention. So he's very protective of that, and he always talks to me about what do you want to do and so on. And I appreciate it, Lance.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all good.
Lance has always been.
Guy couldn't ask for a better son, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I mean, he's something else. I told him, I said, I wish we were closer because we could have done so many projects over this last few years and stuff. Because I'm a creative person too. I don't know how to make score music or whatever, but I know, I mean, I know technology and stuff, and I always thought we could do a fun project or something. Yeah. I guess you don't even have to be close to each other to do that anymore.
No.
It's.
Nope, not
But
at all.
But either way, we are happy to have you out here, Dick. So I guess to just really start things off, I mean, what have you been up to lately? I guess like what in your life?
What have we been up to lately?
Yeah.
Fighting. First, my wife had COVID Christmas Day. That lasted about 6 or 7 days. Then we both came down with bronchitis, and I still have it. And I'm almost over it. I got a little cough, but convention wise, we did three. We did 4 this year and 5 last year. Or no, 4 last year and 5 this year. And Sean Clark, you know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Sean's after me to do, he sent me a list of 3 or 4 and said, okay, make up your mind. What do you want to do? And so on. And I haven't gotten back to him because I'm not sure if I want to do any, but I may
Yeah.
do one. I told him last year when I ended up, I said, I'll do one, but that's all.
Wow.
So as far as anything else goes, the weather's kind of knocked the socks off of most of what we can do outside and inside, as you can see by, I have it kind of blurred out because you don't want to see
Yeah,
back there. It's
that's okay. They're full of Halloween masks and stuff, right? Yeah. I'm just kidding.
yeah, but I'm just I guess I should entertain, which we're talking about is the podcast, but neither of us have a clue how to really get started. How do you put it on the air? You can sit in your room with a microphone on your TV, but how do you get it on the air?
And we're real good at that because, back in the day, which would have been the days of 1981, 82, 83, 84, and all the summer visits that we would have, we would set up a video camera in front of the TV. We would sit at Dad's coffee table with our backs up against the couch, and we would come up with characters pretty much on the fly, and we would do
We'd ad-lib the
interviews.
whole thing.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
We would interview
That'd be-
each other, and I mean,
Yeah. I think there's only one of them left, and that was the one we did when a character that he did, Blizzard Johnson, came, and we did it when I lived in California on Cantera Street. I haven't located it, but I think it's still available. But one of these days, we got another one that I could put on here. I realized after I was playing around with this Zoom thing that I can put videos on here and that you could see as this thing is going on here.
Yeah,
And
right in the background. That's right.
that's terrifying. I just want to be able to get a view of that at least one time first, but I'm okay with it because I mean, it was it was a first of its kind because now it's a podcast. We were having a podcast moment and it was on VHS.
And the Tonight Show all rolled into one, wasn't it?
Oh,
It
absolutely.
was,
Yeah.
it was the interview
Absolutely.
one.
And some of them, kind of started bombing after a little bit. Some of them we just couldn't grab, and some were pretty good.
And the guy that gave me the
Yep,
name
yep.
Warlock years ago, back in the 60s, he and I got together. Kathy wrote a script. I photographed it, and we did two little movies, and Lance wrote the music for them. And they're very short, 13 minutes for one, I think, and 7 minutes for the other. Not very long, but I could put
Western.
those on here, huh? Yeah,
Westerns.
they're cute. Yeah, they're really, yeah.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Well, that's it. That's
So,
yeah. I mean,
How
can
did
do
you
what
end
I
up
did.
from California to Tennessee?
Well, I was working on The Abyss. You know the movie? Okay.
Yep, yep.
We were shooting it down in South Carolina near Spartanburg, and in a nuclear reactor tank. Actually, if you know anything about, you probably knew that already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And I used to eat the Spartanburg Mall, and I used to eat at a Morrison's cafeteria there. And one day, one evening after work, I had eaten and come out of the mall, and they were doing displays. You know how that down in the center, craft people would put things together, and
Yep,
they'd
yep.
sell picture arts
Yep.
work. And well, in the center of this wagon wheel in the mall, with the aisles that go out this way, with the way it was designed, it was really unique. But Kathy was in the center of this wagon wheel, and she was displaying scuba equipment. Well, it's an underwater movie. So I would walk down
Yep.
there. I spotted her, and she just cute as a bug's ear. Well, how beautiful is this bug's ear? But anyway, I kind of was, I enjoyed talking to her. She's cute and so on. So we had a little chat, and I left, and I didn't come back the next night. The next night I came back, and well, I'm making a story out of it. Anyway, I met her in the mall, and we became friends. And we hung out. I was down there on the movie for 5 months, and about 4 of it was spent seeing her, several times a week.
Yep.
And I invited her because she said she'd never seen California. So I invited her to come out. She came out. When she went home, I said, I think I've fallen in love with this woman. So I called her up and said, pack your stuff. I'm coming to get you. And she said,
No.
okay. I thought, well, she hung up on me. But no, she said, okay. So about a week later, I flew down there. She put her house that she'd just bought in October, and this was January. She put it up on rented it out through a company, put all her furniture in storing, packed her little car. When I flew down, got in the car with her, came back here, and she said, I'm not going to live in this place forever. I said, I'll retire early and I'll take you to California or back to where you live in South Carolina. But that didn't work out that way. You see, I didn't go back for 9 years. And now looking back, I wish I'd have stayed another 10. I could have made a lot more money. But
Yeah.
anyway, I came back here to Tennessee. We got married out there, though. We got married a year later out there. So that's how I met her, and it's the best move that the Lord ever gave me.
What
with
year?
God.
What year
Yeah,
was The Abyss? So what
Huh?
year would it have been that you were in Carolina?
I know. Go back 35 years or something, and that'll be about it. 35 years, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the year. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
1989 was the movie.
Well,
The
that's when
Abyss.
it was about, it must have been about a year before that then.
Yep.
No, 88. It was
Okay.
88 when I met her.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, sure.
Wow. And then the video of you
Dwight.
guys getting to the house on the honeymoon, and I had just gotten my second speeding ticket, I think, inside of a week in the new van. And the speeding ticket was in the same spot. The guy nailed me in the same
Same guy?
spot. No, I don't remember now, but
Yeah. I remember I got a ticket here, and you know what the name of the get Presley.
Oh,
It had
no.
to, it had, I'm a big Elvis guy,
Sure.
and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have this cop give me a ticket cop that his name was Presley, something
Oh.
Presley. I thought,
Wow.
is he a member of the family? Anyway,
good.
I like Tennessee. I've driven through there a few times. I have relatives down in Arkansas and Florida, and we've been all over for baseball and hockey and stuff. But I really like that part of the country.
it is beautiful.
I like the outdoorsy parts of it, but it's a completely different outdoorsy than we have up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
still, you get on there. I like it. It's really neat down there.
Well, you got caribou and moose and bears and all kinds of stuff and fishing and you know and the salmons and the lakes and the yeah. We
Yeah,
don't
we
have
got
that there. We got
most of
you
that
know
stuff.
bass fishing, but you know.
But you know what? In Arkansas, in one 4-day period in Arkansas, I saw possums, I saw a bear, I saw turkey, I saw roadrunners, I saw couple of different types of deer. I think you have blacktail and whitetail, and that was in Arkansas. I mean, granted, their deer are smaller than my dogs. Their bear aren't much bigger
Yeah.
than that. They're a little different, but they're still all over. They're just up here. Everything has to be bigger and fatter to survive the cold winters. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
things just get
Even the people. Even the people.
Yeah.
That would be
We had a
bad.
bear on
yeah.
our down on our back. We had a bear on our back deck last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had 2 years ago. I had a mountain lion come through my property.
Oh.
My property borders a river, and where I'm at, it's part of an old golf course, so it's like a peninsula. It almost looks like Florida, and we've got him on trail cam because we hunt out here. And yeah, he hung around here for a couple of days. We actually killed a couple of deer. It was in the winter, and then a guy got his hounds on him and chased him down to the next town and then gave up. But yeah, so we even get the occasional mountain lion coming through here too.
That'd be a
Pretty crazy.
beautiful thing to see.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
It would be.
puts my blue jays and squirrels to shame, but
Well, that's me. My bluebirds and squirrels and
Yeah.
cardinals.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Gee,
yeah.
Yeah,
Up here, our squirrels are the size of rabbits, and our rabbits are the size of raccoons. It's crazy.
And again, the
Wow.
people are quite fat around here. No, I'm just kidding. Gotta stay warm here. What's going on, Mike? We got Michael Strider here.
Michael.
Strider?
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
It's loud, but I hear you.
He's a loud person though, Michael.
Headphones.
Oh yeah, I've got my headphones on. I'm a little bit deaf in my old age here, but I do pretty good with these headphones.
Yeah.
dang, yeah.
How are you,
How are you?
Michael?
I'm good. How are you doing, Dick?
You know, it's a good thing Kathy keeps in touch with you because I'm terrible at it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm doing okay, getting over some bronchitis, but yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing okay.
she said you guys had been sick and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Things
gosh.
haven't changed up here much.
Well, you're having your 50th birthday next week, right?
No. Yeah, actually. Well, I'll fess up. It's my 51st. But
Finally.
Good for your age. No stress. at all.
Finally, 51st for the second time.
can
I
you
gotta
see
watch
me?
it.
You can't see us, can you, Michael?
I can see you. I can see you guys. You just can't see me because I'm outside and I'm
He's doing the
I have to be-
Travis thing. He's doing the
yeah, I have to be-
Travis thing. You can't see him, dude.
This guy
I
must
have to be-
photograph a lot better than he looks.
I know, right?
What do you
I have
think?
to be very secretive because of my job and stuff. So I can't do video while I'm doing it. So anyway,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
explain to you. I'll
He's in the
explain to
porn
you.
industry. He's doing porn.
Well, you're coming up pretty soon, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I think it's about a month. It's the last weekend in February. Yes.
Okay.
So it's been a while, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to getting out of this little town. When I left Los Angeles, I came back here and I was like, wow, this is definitely not Los Angeles.
No, it's home. It's
It
home.
is. And it was I stayed out there for 6 years and I got to do all kinds of stuff that I've would never have dreamed of. I did some TV shows and stuff like that. And I got out of the car one day um, in Hollywood, and near the end of my time there, Sean Penn had made a huge, big issue with everybody getting tested that goes on set. So we had to go test like 3 times before we could even walk on set. Leading
Really.
up to the week leading up to it, and I had kind of forgot that 10 miles out there, it's not like 10 miles here.
No.
And it was like half a day. And
Mhm.
I got out of the car in Hollywood one day, and as soon as I got out of the car, I was like, something just is not right. And it just about doubled me over. And I was like, man, something just I had a really terrible, terrible feeling. And so I went in and did the test, and then I came home, and then I thought about it, and it hit me. And I was like, you know what? There is no presence of God in that town.
No.
And it just hit me, and I
No.
was like, wow. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to leave
That's
it. I had,
I lost some work because of my faith.
yes,
They just would rather not be around me. Know what I mean?
I,
And I wasn't a
I,
preacher type. I'm not a preacher type.
right.
I tell you about my faith, and but that's it. And I
Yeah.
lost some jobs because of it.
Yeah. We talked about that a long time ago. I remember. And
Hmm.
I mean, it's terrible. It's a very different, it's a different universe. And I did it, and I did what I wanted to do and more. And I just got out. I mean, it's too dangerous. It's too expensive. I don't remember. I think you guys lived close to where I lived in Tarzana in the valley.
Tarzana, yeah, okay. If you go straight up Reseda or Tampa, we lived
Yeah.
right between those at the top of the hill in Northridge.
Oh, okay. So that's where Lance, that's where Dave Grohl's Studio 606 is in Northridge.
Oh, really?
Oh, is
It
it?
is. Yes, it sure is. We did a photo shoot there for the book, and I it's hidden from basically humanity. It's
Oh, I'm
disguised
sure.
as yeah, it's disguised as like a factory type building. So
How
So
far
this,
up
yeah,
the
this
hill is it?
it's not far. I think it's at the base of the hill.
Okay. Was it on the
Um,
other side of the 118 north?
I think so, yes, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, there's a golf course about a quarter of a mile up from, and I can't even remember the corner where Ralph's Market is there, which is which if you get off the 118 and go north, you're on that street. I
Right,
can't
right.
remember what it is, but I
It's
didn't remember much industrial above that street. The
right.
reason I asked.
He made it. He put up a huge fence, and he just made it. He disguised it basically, so people, so the fans wouldn't be coming up to it. And
yeah,
but that
because
was
isn't this where he would house the Neve mixing console from Sound City?
yes. And I sat at that console, and I was just like a little kid. So it
That's
was
the
it was awesome.
documentary is incredible.
Yeah, it
Did
was
you
quite
see it,
amazing.
Lance?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Were you-
Dave's a real good egg. That's all you ever hear.
Wow.
Seems like
He's a
he's always
beautiful
doing
dude. He
stuff.
really is.
Yeah,
Always doing stuff
yeah.
at homeless shelters, making food. I'm sure those
Yep.
photos are real.
And if there is one thing musically that I know that I'll think about once in a while that I kick myself, and that is it was a Halloween night. I was living here in Seattle. It was probably 1990 or 90. Well, everybody was exploding, and my roommates said, "Hey, Nirvana's playing down at the Moore Theater. Here's a ticket." And I turned it down. I don't know why I did, but I turned it down. And
Wow.
that's one of the things that, out of all that time that I spent when those guys were all blowing up and we were over here, that's the one I kind of regret.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have that. You know, I
Yeah.
actually, like 17 or so, I can't remember exactly years ago. I used to work for the Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina as a photographer, and my boss told me on a Friday, he said, look, no, he told me on Monday, he said, look, we're going to have a high school exhibition basketball game Friday, and let me know if you want to come shoot it, because he said they have some hotshot kid that they think may go pro or something. And I said, nah, I'm not into sports. I don't care anything about it. And so I didn't. And I shot like 14 years of the ACC, so I was burned out on it. And so
Boom
on
those
Monday,
days.
the fall. Okay, so hold on tight. The following Monday morning, my boss goes, now see, I didn't know I didn't know this name or didn't know what it meant till years later. I said, well, how was the game? He said, oh, it was great. The guy the kid was really amazing. I said, oh, cool. What was his name? He said his name was LeBron James.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was the same kind of thing. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I should have gone that night. So it was funny. But I think we all do those things.
Well, and that's one thing that I wanted to know from you, Dad, meaning like things like that of regret, to the sense of, is there or can you say a job that you wish that you would not have turned down?
Yeah, yeah. It was on the extended emergency series. When the series ended, they did like 4 episodes after that were like hour and a half long or something like that. And I got a call from a guy that I work for on the series, to come up to San Francisco to do a job of falling down off the Golden State bridge, the bridge, and hanging there because I just passed out. I was with 2 other guys and I just fell and was hanging. That's what I was supposed to do. And then the 2 good guys, Gage and Bellhorn or whatever his name was, he he was supposed to come and they'd come down and do their thing. Now, I did several high jobs for him. You remember the Nissan building is about 100 stories high down in Torrance. It's right on the end of the 210 freeway, or the Harbor Freeway, and the 5. Anyway, I was 90 feet up in that, hanging around. I mean, and there's a place on La Brea where the apartment buildings run an arc like this, and in the middle, that's 7 stories high. And I did several things on there. One was doubling an old guy that was a wing walker, and they're one of those guys, and he
Yep.
fell off, and he's hanging there. So I'm familiar with that. But this job I turned down because when they told me about what was going to happen and how it was going to be rigged, because I said, how are you going to rig it safety wise and whatever? Oh, I know we got cables and the usual routine. And I thought, okay, so Larry Holt and anyway, another stunt guy. What the hell is his name? Anyway, we went up, and it turns out we're so high up, 110 feet or something, that they had a hook and ladder fire thing, but it was about 15 feet away from. I said, "You're going to rescue me with that?" And I said, "What if I have a heart attack or a epileptic fit?" I can't even talk. Mike Strider's got me all upset, you know. He just shows up and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I took it down, and I'm sorry I did, because they probably got 3 guys off the street to do it. You know what I mean? All 3 of us came home. They, you know, we don't want to be part of this. So anyway, I wish I'd have.
You know, when you were doing stuff like that, I would have a hard time with the heights. But did you get hurt on the Wild Wild West? Because when I was, I don't know, I'm trying to date myself. I'm pushing 60 years old, but when I was a kid, that was one of my favorite shows. Did you get hurt on the set of that show?
Did you say
I
Wild
thought I
Wild?
read somewhere where
No,
were you like Robert Conrad's stunt double? Or am I completely wrong?
no, I wasn't. I've never worked the show, but I
Okay.
could have doubled. I could have doubled Bob. I did a little thing where I played some guy, and he was an assassin or whatever, but he ended up killing me, which always happens. I died a lot in my lifetime. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, it was a thing. I guess I was talking about what he did. He's a macho guy and loved to do his own stuff.
Yeah.
So he has a. Go ahead. You were going to ask me something or say something. No. Okay. What it was interior saloon, much like the saloon on Gunsmoke with the stairway that
Yep.
goes up to a little thing. He was up there doing his stuff. Boom. And he was supposed to dive out and grab a wagon wheel overhead light, right? Candles and stuff, and swing down and
Yep.
kick another stunt guy through the front window of the bar. Well, when he got out there, it broke. He came down, bam! It put him out of work for 6 months. But not only him, the crew and the rest of the cast were out of a job. Now that to me is a little on the selfish side. The egomaniac that he is or was, he may have calmed down a lot now, cost a lot of people a job.
So
Anyway,
anybody
I
could
don't
put
know.
a battery on their shoulder and say, "Go ahead, knock it off." But yeah, that would. I'm not kidding. That and Baba Black Sheep. I just loved those shows when I was a kid, and he was in both of them. And yeah,
Oh, I
anyway,
like both those shows. I mean, I like Conrad
yeah,
as an actor, and
yeah.
I mean, the shows that he was in, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask
And
you, Dick. I was going to ask you what your thoughts on someone like Tom Cruise is for doing all of the. I mean, he does some insane stunts
That he
that he
does.
shouldn't be doing.
That he does. And there's several of those guys around. But Cruz, because of the advent of DCI, ACI, what is it? CGI.
Yeah.
They put
yeah.
all this rigging on him and cables as thick as my finger.
And
You
green
know,
suit.
not it's probably like a straw is about the thickness you have, but they can take it all out and it makes him look great. But he's done some stuff like flying on the side of the airplane. I mean, he's done some stuff, and I admire him for that.
Now,
You know, I don't think he should do it because of the chance of him being injured.
but wouldn't we say that because he's the either a producer or one of the producers, that he's got the ability to say, well, guess what?
Well,
he's got some
that's
money
that's
involved,
probably what
so
Alex, whatever his name is, said when he went and shut. I'm the
Yeah.
producer. So what?
Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
that doesn't
yeah,
excuse you from anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You would think that. Yeah, he's got to have a lot invested. Because you
Sure,
would think
I
the
mean-
movie company themselves would be, the film companies would be like,
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's
what
like
I always thought it
professional
was
athlete.
too.
Yeah, it's like being a professional athlete, you know, making $50 million a year, and in the off season you're going to go ski jumping. You know, they're going to go, you're not doing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dick,
Absolutely.
you were supposed to do. Didn't Carpenter want you to do he wanted you to drive the limousine in a scene in the movie Elvis, and you were shooting
no,
I think you did E.T. at the time or something like that, right?
no, I was never asked to do Elvis. In fact, Kurt and I talked before they started the movie. He said, "Dick, there's nothing on this show." Well, it
Okay.
turns out that Chuck Norris's brother Aaron was down in Memphis where they were shooting, or one of the southern states. I think it was Memphis or wherever. Uh, they needed a car to drive by like it was Elvis and his gang. And when they had the car loaded with the bass guitar and all that stuff, and they were going from one
Yeah.
place, but just a drive by.
Right.
So they got Aaron. They asked Aaron to do it, and he did it.
Okay.
So it really,
Okay.
that's why I didn't. There were several shows that I didn't work on. Two of them I gave away. I gave to somebody else because I was working. But no, E.T. Did you say E.T.? Because I didn't work on E.T. I had an opportunity. They were shooting up on Braymore Road where I lived in Northridge, Porter Ranch.
Right.
And I was coming home from work, and J.R. Randall, who coordinated the show, had his crew there. And it was when the kids on the bicycle were riding through where they were building houses and things. And I stopped and was talking to JR, and he said, "You can work tomorrow." He said, "I need some guys, and yeah, I'll hire you for tomorrow." I said, "Nah, man, I'm already working. I got a job." But I could have made a lot of money because he handed out $1,000 check to each guy that worked on the show at the end. But the
Right.
residuals they're dynamite.
I
They're
was
big.
I was watching an episode a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Hold it, let me rewind this. I recognize this guy," and it was you on an episode of Kolchak, the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin.
Hey,
Another
Kolchak, I
great show.
thought you were straight. Yeah. Oh.
Another great show. One of
Yeah.
my favorites growing up.
Wow.
Yeah, Gavin
Yeah.
McLeod. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a kick in the butt.
That was great.
Oh, Kolchak, I thought you were straight. And I slammed his tennis shoes in his chest. Yeah.
Okay, so then
I got flipped over by actually it was another stunt guy. He flipped me over on top of the girl that I was dating at the time, Regina Parton. Boom! But I managed to arc it, and she was here, and I hit the wall and just came back off. I didn't really land on her, and she was,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, tricks.
That's Hollywood for you, huh?
Yeah. But if they didn't have that, we'd all be hurt a lot.
That's right. That's right.
well,
What
and
were you
I
gonna
mean, and
s-
obviously you were doing everything prior to any sort of CGI capabilities. I mean, some form of, all right, well,
Yeah.
we got to figure this out because there wasn't stunt schools, correct?
Yeah, there was one after about my third or 1/3 into two-thirds into my career that there was a guy that developed a stunt school in LA, and then he took it to Florida. But yeah, the earliest stunt thing that I can remember, a guy down in Santa Monica, another stunt guy, started a school where he'd teach guys about 2 feet high to fall down and stuff. And but no, and I look back and I think about the Dale Van Sickles and the Harvey Perrys and Tom Steele. They used to use Kotex
Oh, for
on,
elbow pads?
yeah, elbows and knees and stuff, and they'd stick them down the back of their pants to protect their tailbones, and they didn't have all that stuff. They didn't have seat belts. They'd use rope and tie themselves in and stuff. And then what we got was really like super neat stuff, football pads that were really cool. And they developed in the use of football pads. When I said that at the beginning, it was back in the day, the silent movies and stuff. But then they
Right.
developed the old leather helmet was what they had and so on. But anyway, yeah, I lived in the best years of my life in the 40s and 50s and early 60s, mid 60s. And then everything changed. And the film business for me was like going to college at Disney. I went and I mean it was beautiful. And then it just kind of transitioned into something else. And I'm glad I'm out of it.
Dick,
Well,
Go
did
ahead.
go
you
ahead.
ever did you ever do an episode or any of the episodes or the driving for the Dukes of Hazzard by any chance?
No, I worked not on Dukes, but the other one. There was another one that that whole bunch did. I don't think
Was
it was
it,
two.
well, didn't they do a spin-off with the sheriff, Lobo or,
Yeah, James Best did the part.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one I worked on. I worked on 2 episodes, and I confronted a bear. There was 3 of us, but 4 of us had busted in a room, and we're going to catch this guy, and the guy's not in there. This bear stands up, right, and then it cuts to out exterior, double windows, 4 guys crash out and fall out of frame into a pad, of course. But, yeah,
Well, how did they do that show without, I mean, just seriously hurting all those stunt drivers in those cars?
they did. They had 101 guys, different people that they brought into the union just to do those jumps, and they'd do 1 jump, and that was the end of them. Bring in somebody else, put them in, cut them. And they went through a lot of people.
Wow.
They developed all kind of rigs, seats. You know, the seats the guys had to sit in on bungees, the springs, all kinds of stuff to protect them from those harsh hits.
Wow.
So they developed a lot of technology during that show. The heck with the stunt guys.
Right. Right.
Well, we can't use that. We put that back in.
It always makes me wonder, like, why they chose to have a car in the show as kind of the main icon. You know, it became an iconic piece, obviously, but you know, it kind of set itself from the story of what was actually going on in the show. It seemed like, I don't know, but it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's a hazard. I think it would have been successful with or without the car. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but
the car is cool.
It's like the bandit car, the smoking a bandit. Yeah, or you take the Green Hornet, the Black Beauty, the car for Batman. You know,
Yeah.
Which
different.
I clearly remember you taking me to and sitting in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And very recently I caught snippets of Smokey and the Bandit, and it was on. And I got to tell you, man, Bert is just classic in that.
Didn't he?
It's a great show.
Yeah,
it is a great show.
If I'm not mistaken, that's when Johnny Carson got a hint of his comedic ability. Right before that, he was just a macho guy. Yeah. And when he started appearing on the Carson show, that was when his whole career kind of changed. You know, went, oh yeah,
he's funny. He's funny. Yeah, absolutely.
He was an icon for sure.
How long Dick was Halloween 2? How long was filming on that?
You know, I don't really remember. I think it was 5 weeks, but I'm not positive. Because we jumped around different spots. We had a lot of locations on that show.
Okay, I'm guessing
tell
maybe you guys
tell
know
her
where
I'm not available.
Here.
What was that?
3 words. Well, I'm wondering if you guys know where I'm getting at here. 5 weeks on location or on set with that. But what I'm wondering is the 3 words: Jamie Lee Curtis. How fun was it working with her?
You know,
Jamie Lee Curtis, because I heard you kind of had a little crush on her.
And I think it was reciprocal. You know.
Yeah. Of course.
But being married to his mother, Lance's mom,
sure.
Hands off. You know, I never messed with.
I know.
I never messed with one woman in the movie business. I had a number of opportunities. Yeah, but I never did. Never did.
Did you ever get to meet her mom? Did you ever bring her mom on set?
No. Never met her mom. I would love to have met Janet, but the Janet I met is Lance's mama. No, that was Billy and Rhonda. No, that's Billy and Rhonda's mother. Ann is Lance's mother.
Hey, no.
I told you I'd muck this thing up, Lance.
I'm still wondering where the data comes in. No.
Mike's the smart one. He's got the video off.
Everybody knows this, but Dana Carvey was actually in Halloween 2.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Oh, I
And
didn't
that was
remember
one
that.
of his very first jobs. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie when they're bringing the body out or bringing Jamie out, and the newscasters are out there and so on. He's got a one-line deal. He's kind of sideways, to the lady who went on to be the producer of Emergency 911 a long time ago. But yeah, Dana, that was one of his very first jobs.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay, how about Jaws? Were you Richard Dreyfuss's double
On what?
on
The Jaws?
Jaws?
Yeah, just for the cage
It-
sequence.
Okay, so was that all filmed in a pool like you were talking about the Abyss, or were you out in the real water, or how was that for you?
Oh well, they took me down to the and I was in with a. I mean, it's hard for me to Lance, don't tell this. I'm creating a
Lance
scene.
is Lance is splitting a gut over here.
It was you.
Well, here's the deal. See, I get a call from the production manager, Tom Joyner at Universal, that Jesse Wayne, he doubled for Mickey Rooney for years. They called him first because he's really the same size as Richard, more the size and the more the look. But Jesse said, "No, I'm not available, but call Dick Warlock. He's a certified scuba diver. He'll do you a good job." So that's how I got the job. I went in, met Spielberg, and he said, "Yeah, you'll be fine." So I did that and spent a week down there, and they permed my hair the first time we did it. And as soon as I got in the water, but they permed it with a curling iron.
Oh
And then they
boy.
had to go back and dry me off, and then put a perm in my hair so that it wouldn't uncurl, and I got gonna go wet. But
Oh.
that's how I got the job on Jaws, and we shot it in the Esther Williams. You won't remember that. You probably do. You being 60, but you won't remember Esther Williams. She's a
swimmer.
woman. She's an actress who did underwater ballet movies.
Yeah.
When the movie involved her, she was doing something underwater. So they built that tank on the back lot at MGM. MGM has 3 lots. The main lot, lot 2, where they did a lot of European stuff. Rat Patrol, we shot that there. And then lot 3, which is where this tank was. And it has 2 portholes. And Spielberg was in one. If this thing here that I'm looking at was the tank, the shark is coming at him, and he's looking back at the whoops, sorry. I got a jerry rig kind of thing here. It's just sitting on a cardboard box, and it's anyway.
Okay.
That's what we
You're
did.
doing great.
That's what we did.
And
You
you've
know,
got
I
the home movies to prove it. Well, I
Yeah.
think it was in one of the DVD specials, one of the special features that they actually put your 8mm footage in there.
That was the
yes.
one. Yeah, it was the one that I did an appearance in. One day, one of the producers uh, from Universal lived next door to me when I lived up in Porter Ranch, and I get a knock at the door, and he says, "Yeah, hi, Dick." He said, "I'm your neighbor," and I didn't know the guy because in California you don't know your neighbors because they may move in a month after they move in. It's very transient.
Yeah.
And he introduced himself, and he said, "We're doing a special on Jaws," and he said, "We'd love to have you come in and do a sit down with us." So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll go do that." So where was I going with that? It
Oh,
left me.
right.
You're
Yeah.
talking about your footage.
Oh yeah, they put that
Yes.
footage in that special. It was a
Right.
special for Jaws.
You know, Dick, I met Dreyfus like 15 years ago for the first time, and then I met him again like 4 months ago, and both times he still remembers you as being his
No,
his double in the movie.
you're
He's like, yeah,
not serious.
he's like, I could never have done that. So
He
that's
pretended to know me. I never met him. Well, I did
You
meet
think
him. I had doubled him on a pilot for a series called Catch 22.
right,
Yeah,
right.
Paradise Cove in Malibu, right? I don't know whether you've been out
Mhm.
that's where the trailer sat for James Garner's show, Rockford Files. Remember, he had a trailer near the beach on that show.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that was
Right.
Paradise Cove, and that pier there is. Anyway, I also doubled June Allison near there. Went down through a tunnel, and did a head on with James Garner in a movie called They Only Kill Their Masters. Gee, I forget about that movie a lot. Nobody, you guys, none of you know the name.
It's the dogs, the Dobermans,
Yeah.
What?
right?
Dobermans, yeah.
Wasn't, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's what
I
it
remember
was.
that.
Oh, well, when she
Yeah.
goes through that tunnel and comes out the other end and they're near miss with James Garner, that
Right.
was me in a wig. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Dreyfus didn't say that he met you, but I think he has known you at least since known your
well,
name since they.
if he ever saw the interview with him
Right.
and myself and Schroeder and or
Yeah.
Schreider, yeah, he'd know who I was. But on one show, the Carson show, I think it was, they mentioned me, not my name, but a double. He said, no, I did that too. Yeah, he wanted to take credit. He didn't want anybody to know that he didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as he aged, I guess he softened up a little. I'd like to
I
meet him
think
sometime.
I think he has. I think he's the first time that I met him was at Schiller Theater in New Jersey, and then the second
Yeah.
time was just recently at that Galaxy Con, I think in Raleigh. And so I think he has softened. He was nice to me, but I
Yeah,
did the
yeah,
first I did see him. Um, he was trying to speak at one of the little shows that they had, like a little concert, and he was between acts. He was trying to speak at in New Jersey, and people just kept talking and talking, and I was like, oh, they're he's going to get upset in just a second. He's going to get upset. And like 10 seconds later, he literally goes, I'm speaking here. I'm speaking here. I was like,
was
oh
it a
my God.
Q&A or something?
No, it was just, he was just speaking. He was talking about something, and he was trying to talk to the whole crowd while they were setting up for the next band.
Right.
And I was like, oh Lord, this is embarrassing. So
Yeah, it would
he's got
be.
a little bit of a Napoleon syndrome, but he was nice to me. So
Napoleon syndrome? That's pretty
yeah.
funny. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to meet him. I was telling the guys earlier, I don't know whether I'm going to do any conventions a year. I told Sean Clark, you know Sean?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I told him that I would do one this year, but he sent me a list of four that he suggested I do this year. I don't know why he keeps pushing, except he gets 10%, and I do pretty good. I think Nick Castle and I do about the same every year.
Have you
It's been pretty lucrative.
have you ever thought about, does he ever mention the new one, GalaxyCon by any chance?
Doing what?
It's called GalaxyCon. It's a
Never heard of it.
huge convention. Yeah, it's a really, really, really huge convention. They're relatively new, and they're starting to have them like all over the country. And basically, they have them in person, and they also have the celebrities sign things for people that can't come, like through the internet or whatever. And you can buy stuff, and I mean it's
Yeah.
very lucrative for everybody involved, I guess.
Well, we do photo ops.
Right.
Yeah. Those are lucrative for everybody too.
I was wanting to do one coming up. I'm going to Mad Monster Party the week before I come to you guys to your place.
I did that last
And
year. That's down in
you did.
Charlotte, isn't it?
Yes, you did. And I wasn't able to come
Yeah.
because it was last minute, but I think Kane Hodder is doing Jason,
Yeah.
and I really wanted to do it, but it's like $160 for the picture. So
Well, they're doing one here in Kingsport in June.
oh wow, really?
Yeah. It's not most people, but it's one that does it in this, the Knoxville, Gatlinburg area down there.
Yeah.
But they moved it up to Meadowview here in Kingsport for next June. I just contacted the guy, or Kathy did, and yeah, he said I'll come up there. We'll sit down. We'll have a meeting. Tell him, ask him what he wants, and he's got it. They
Yeah.
want me to come, so that's kind of cool. I just wanted to
think
do it for the local fans, people around there
Right.
see me, and they know me all over this area right here, within
Yeah.
a mile and a half anyway. That's it, Lance. Crack up. It just
A
just
mile
hit you.
and a
Oh,
half.
yeah, I'm big here in Kingsport.
His radius, your radius is larger than mine.
I do the best I can.
Yes,
Remember I told you my faith got me kicked out of the business.
Sometimes
Well,
it's nice to live in a small town.
Everybody comes up to Dick now and they probably go, "Hey, aren't you Boombox Boy's
No,
dad?"
you got me confused.
That's right. That's
You
right.
got me confused with someone who cares. Yeah,
Aren't you Boombox Boy's dad?
that's it.
That's awesome. That's it.
Well, when Billy Warlock shows up, I remember going up to Cracker Barrel up the street here. Oh, there he is. That's Frankie from Days of Our Lives, and he was in General Hospital, and Happy Day, and who are you, old man?
That's the best part.
It is. I don't want to be identified anyway.
That's the best part.
That's awesome. That is
Waitresses
really
have
awesome.
known me for 20 years. You're that guy?
It's like, no.
Well, anyway,
Leave it to the Cracker Barrel, right?
absolutely. Biscuits and gravy. You have Cracker Barrel where you guys are up in the high states?
No.
No,
No.
no, not up here. No.
We'd be lucky we have a Popeyes, which is closer to Fargo. We don't have one.
We don't have Popeyes.
Yeah, wish we
Yeah,
did.
we got
We have
a lot of
some
snow
here.
cones
I mean, it's
and
just
ice
that,
fishing, and
yeah.
No
we
cones?
have bars that look like igloos in the middle of a lake on
Igloo.
the ice.
We have,
Yeah, we do.
we have just,
What do you eat when
actually
you
have
go
a
ice
bar.
fishing? Huh?
We have a bar up here. It's shaped like a ginormous igloo where you can go
Yeah.
in there and drink. And you actually have holes drilled in the ice so you can fish while you're in the bar drinking on the middle of this ginormous lake.
Wow.
Ginormous. That's a new word for me. Ginormous.
Yeah,
yeah.
ginormous.
That's
the
awesome.
fish houses they
Hey,
have now
Sean,
are built. You can use them for
Sean,
campers.
how's it going for you tonight? Sean, are you liking what you're getting here? We can adjust it.
I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm going pretty well. I think. I mean, I don't know how I can be more happier. I mean, you guys,
I could change this pond down at MGM Studios into Australian outback with this shark and stuff. If you want to make it bigger.
I think this is the launch pad for Dick and Lance's new podcast. I think this is great.
Well,
There you
you
go.
weren't here when we were talking about that because Lance and I a couple of days ago started talking about doing. I've been asked for the last year to do a podcast. But
Right.
I don't know how to put it together. I don't know how to get it on the air. It's the same thing I asked Sean, or said to Sean, hinting that maybe he would give us a little help, but he never. He just blew me off and went to some other subject. Well, I understand. He doesn't want the competition. What can I say? I mean,
I will gladly offer my services.
I get absolutely no respect.
No respect. Okay, Rodney.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so, if you do want to do something, I'd be more than happy to help you. We just gotta communicate, like this,
Oh, now he's looking for a cut of the profits.
That's right. A little bit of money.
Yeah, because you're gonna really get rich on a podcast.
You got that right.
I'm looking at Joe Rogan's experience, man. I'm seeing the guys making millions.
We
and I
all
know
are.
If
Yeah.
he and I get on the air like that, I mean, we're bound to make $1.50 a week.
Oh, sure.
And I don't mean $150. I mean $1.50.
Yeah.
I'd have to get
about
my
all.
wife to be one of my sponsors.
Oh yeah. No, but podcasting is fun. You know, I was nervous about it at first when I first started, but it's just like doing a radio show or doing a TV show. And for us, our format is basically format, and uh, because I can't play music, if I try to play music, then we get flagged and everything. We play copyrighted stuff, so it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
I can't do a music show.
You know what? The podcasts have its good and its bad. My company, we're on every social media app there is. Our bread and butter is a lot of it is Facebook and YouTube, but there's certain one time we got put in Facebook jail because we used the word Nazi in the title of a show. We didn't call
Yeah.
anybody a Nazi. We didn't even mention Nazi in the show, but it was a title of a
Who
political show
watches
we
that?
did. A
I mean,
lot of people. But they
yeah,
banned us for a month. Facebook did. Yeah, they're the fact checkers.
They've got algorithms.
Yeah,
Do
they've
they
got
come onto your-
algorithms and all that crap.
they come here, Laura.
Yeah, they
Hello, Laura. My name is Dick, and I'm in here. I'm butting in on your husband here, or better half. I mean, select a friend. I don't know.
yeah, she's the better
I don't know.
half.
Okay.
My wife.
I don't know where I was going with that now.
I don't know.
Dang.
But
And those thoughts come
know,
into
that's
me,
the-
boy, they just rush right in and go, and they're gone. Ask
but
Lance.
you know,
Now,
those
I
are the
butted
bad
into
parts. Yeah,
Laura.
that's the bad
Go
parts
ahead
of
and mute.
podcasts. But
I gotta
the
shut
good
up.
thing
Nobody-
about podcasts is there's no FCC regulations, so you can there's a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
You know, after 40 years of radio, you said the F word by accident, you can get in a lot of trouble. If it comes out in a podcast, it's no big deal. So there's a lot more freedoms in a podcast, but it
See,
depends on
mostly-
what kind of show you want to have. I
With
mean,
our-
But
with
who
our-
needs a show laden with F-bombs?
Don't say
You know?
Nazi.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's-
don't title anything with that.
I
See,
yeah.
can't recall the last time I heard that word, that name, until it came up recently in the news or something. The words Nazi.
Yeah.
The word Nazi.
And that's all it was a title of a show about going back in time or something. And yeah, next thing you know, we're banned from Facebook. So there were certain shows we had to
You couldn't do
intentionally
anything on-
take off Facebook and YouTube for in fear of being banned again, because the more times if you're in jail for 30 days, the next time it's going to be 60, the time after that it's going to be 90, then you're done.
you
And
can't
that's how we
be
make
on-
our money.
be on YouTube
So,
because of stuff regarding
you know,
Yeah.
COVID,
So yeah, it was COVID especially.
vaccines.
We one of our shows was about vaccines and masks and the people that didn't believe in it, and we had a heck of a time. A lot of people were calling us nut jobs and
We got banned from-
you know, and we got banned from stuff there, but 3 years later people are saying, yeah, you guys were right. You know, so you got to play your cards, but then again, what we do is we tickle the controversial part of it around in our city, because our city is 70,000 people, if more, you know, than that even, but we have nothing local. We don't have a local TV station anymore. We don't hardly have a local newspaper anymore. Our radio is far from local. And so we came up with this, and we decided we're going to do different shows with some of the topics people don't want to talk about, or being the conservative part of the country we are, don't think they should talk about it. We do. And it opened up a lot of eyes. A lot of people were mad at us at first, and now they're the people that are our allies now. So, but it just took a little while. You just got to keep pounding it. They're calling us nut jobs, and we're like, well, you wait, just wait. You know, and pretty soon the evidence changes, things change, and now we're a source. Our mayor up here is running for, it'll be just running for his second term this November. We are the very first ones who gave a key to the city to in Grand Forks. How about that? So yeah, because we weren't afraid to talk about the truth and tackle it, and no matter who got butt hurt about it, I don't care. It does not. I don't care.
You know,
Yeah.
Tim
So,
Robbins,
anyway,
Tim
enough about me.
Tim Robbins turned around, and also like Bill Maher. There's several big celebrities that that turned around recently, And they're like, you know what? We were wrong about that, you know.
Yep. The vaccine
So,
killed my mother-in-law. It's on her
oh
death
wow.
certificate. It's
Wow.
on her death certificate. She did not need to get that second shot. She did because she was sick and tired of not being able to see her grandkids because everybody was so paranoid. She
Yeah,
took the
yeah.
second
Yeah.
shot. 2 days later, she was dead.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible.
And she was unbelievably healthy woman. I mean,
Yeah.
she cooked and did all, and she was, I mean, worked out in our yard. We have
No medication.
Yeah, no medications. When the coroner was out here, he's like, "We need her medications." My wife gave them to him. She goes, "No, we need them all." So this is it,
Eye drops.
and it was eye
Can I-
drops.
Can I ask a question right here? Laura, can you step over in front of the camera so I can see who I'm talking to?
No.
Yeah.
Sandy.
The
She's
hairs- the
sanding
hairs
down
and
the filing
curlers
cabinet right now. She won't.
The hair's in curlers, or she's got her nightie on, or something. She is just not
Hang
coming up.
on.
Okay, she's gonna come and take a little peek here.
Hi, I'm in the middle of redoing some filing cabinets, so I'm kind of gross right now.
Oh, okay.
Nice to see you all.
Well, she came in and out so fast, and
Yeah.
you're.
And my head is this big, so I could kind of
Well, no,
block
it's
her.
it wasn't that. Your picture goes in and out, and and when you do that, when you swipe these things, they blur. That's what happened. Her head came in and out before you could even.
I will tell you this, Dick. She's a lot better looking than I am. Why
Well,
do you
so
think
is
I was in
Strider.
radio for 40 years?
No, I'm not either.
How to win friends and influence people.
I'm glad I had something to fall back on when my modeling career ended, right?
We all have faces for radio. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got a cute face, Mike. Come on now. You know.
Well, well, thank you very much.
Anybody can
Thank you
take a
very-
good looking still photo.
I know, right?
I'm right, I'm looking good.
Speaking of that, Dick, I don't know. I'm guessing. I can't remember if I told you, but you've got in my book that I'm getting ready to put out. I think you've got 3 or 4 shots in it, like full page pictures. So I told
Of
Lance,
myself? Of
I
me?
found a photo. Yeah, I think there's a few photos of you from our photo shoot in character, and then there's also one of you, Kathy, if you remember my friend Tony Lombardi, and Lance somewhere. And I can't. Lance, do you remember where we said we took that? Was it
think
Jersey?
That was, I think that was the whole Jersey thing, because I remember Tony from going into Philly, and that was the whole
Yeah.
ingrown toenail episode.
Oh Lord, yes.
Yeah.
That was memorable. That was we broke away from the convention because I mean his toe was like a it was kind of like a Sam Raimi movie or something. And so so we had to go to the hospital, and it was me and Lance and I think Tony and my wife at the time, Amy. And we got there, and I was laughing because we finally got into the emergency room, and they started doing their cutting and stuff. And and some of the nurses were coming up and getting pictures with him while his toe was getting cut into. It was so funny. It was great.
Oh, and Mike's got a shot of
It was so awesome.
the needle was just so huge that I don't know if they were draining it, but yeah, that trip cost me a lot of money.
It reminded me, I thought about this last weekend because I had just bought a new knife, and it was very, very stiff, and I was trying to work it in and, open and close, open, close, open, close, over and over. And all of a sudden I looked down and I was like, well, my hand looks like Gene Simmons, puking blood. I mean, there was blood. I mean, I was like, how does that much blood come out of my thumb? And I thought, well, I better go to the doctor. So I had to go to the ER myself. And I remember them doing that with you. And when I told I was kind of joking with the doctor, and I said, "Well, doc, you gonna put some glue on there for me?" And he goes, glue?" And I said, "Oh, so are you gonna need a stitch maybe?" And he goes, "A stitch?" And I was like, "What are you thinking, doc?" He said, no, we're gonna need about 5 probably." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, go ahead." And I picked in my mind, I pictured myself as like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, and I was like, "Yeah, don't even worry about the numbing. Don't even worry about that." And very quickly, yeah, very quickly, he to change my mind about that, and he said, "Well," and he's talking to me, he's kind of distracting me. And then he starts sticking needles, giving me shot. He had to give me 5 shots in the tip of like inside the cut in the tip of my thumb. And I've never felt like such a baby in my entire life. I mean, I was literally screaming. It was so bad. It was crazy. But I thought about your foot when we were doing that.
I mean, I'm going back there right now enough to. It wasn't pleasant at all.
I got
Oh,
I got
and that's
some
been
friends that were ex-NHL hockey players, and a good friend of mine ended up with 16 stitches in the face. So he just went down to the locker room, and they don't no Novocaine or anything because they expect them to get back out there, and you can't if you're all numb from Novocaine. He stitches them up. They put a couple butterflies over the stitches, and they go back out and play. It's just crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not that much of
and
a
that's just
man, I don't think.
no, no. But then again, if I was making that much money, I mean, it's just part of the job. They're not models, they're
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's just
that's true.
stitches. Look at professional wrestlers. They take so
Yeah,
many of them, you could just tweak them on the forehead, and they have so much scar tissue that pretty soon with the sweat, they're bleeding all over. These guys are
yeah,
almost the same way. They're so used to getting stitched up. It's just part of the job,
Yeah.
but it's
yeah.
nuts what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I have got to get up at 2 a.m. to save the world, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
2 a.m. So that's wow.
But can you believe that? That is so
Yeah.
ridiculous. I can't even
Yeah.
believe that I actually say that. But
Yeah. That's all right. Hey, you're doing a service, so good job for you. Cheers.
There you go.
well, I appreciate Frankie. As usual, Frankie, I appreciate you letting me come on.
Hey, no
And
problem.
Dick and Lance, all you guys, all of you. It was very cool reminiscing. And Dick, I will see you, I guess, in about a month, 3 weeks to a month, that's something like that, 3 to 4
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
Well,
And
we
I'm looking
appreciate you,
forward to
Mike.
it.
I
So
appreciate
am
We
I.
have to go. We have to go to Cracker. We have to go.
Cracker Barrel.
You
A
got to take
lot of
well,
fun.
obviously Michael's
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna say.
not in any way, shape, or form. I know you've had this, but when they took me to have the whole grits and red eye gravy, I mean, come on, you got to.
I tr I tried to order grits when I got to Los Angeles, and that did not work out very well.
Nope. You
What are
were
you
banned from
thinking?
that restaurant forever.
What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Well, I think
Grits.
the lady, I think the waitress was like Flo on Alice, and she looked at me and she said, and she goes,
What?
"Grits?" Yeah, and she goes, "We don't sell wet sand out here, boy." I was like, okay, cool."
Wow. Wow.
So
Well,
No, I
it
know
was
she's
fun.
not wrong, but I'll eat them. I like
So
all
funny.
foods. So.
Well, we appreciate you, Mike. I really appreciate
I'm
you.
looking for. I'm looking. Well,
Did you
thank you
go?
again, Frankie, and I
Oh,
will. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I better
Michael.
go because I got to get to bed. I'm getting old, Dick. I gotta. I'm not young
yeah,
like you are, Dick. I got to get
yeah,
up early.
yeah. Uh-huh.
uh-huh.
Two
All right,
2
buddy.
2 a.m. come 2 a.m. comes very early. Believe me.
That's that California party life that's catching up with you, man.
There you go.
I
Pretty
think it
got
is.
up to
That's
go to the
probably what it
bathroom
is. You're
twice by
right.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
talk about that when you get out
It'd be
here.
nice to I was gonna say it'll be nice to relax in Tennessee, and that'll be so awesome. Believe me. And go to Cracker Barrel. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
There you
that
go.
would be very cool.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm jealous.
All right, guys. Well, I will let you guys go, and I will talk to all of you soon.
Take care.
See you,
Done
Michael.
deal.
See you later.
Okay. All right, buddy. We'll see you guys
Bye,
later.
guys.
Okay.
Here, I'll just remove you.
Boy, I thought he'd never leave. My God. He's still on?
There he is.
Hey,
I had to remove
John,
him.
I don't know how much longer we're going on, but I got to ask Dick this question.
Sure.
Now, Dick, you're a spiritual man, correct?
Yes.
You haven't always been, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you finding God, being a spiritual man, did the stage name Warlock, did anybody ever give you a hard time about that? Or did it bother you at all? Or you just go, that's part of the business?
For the longest time, I had no idea what that word meant, biblically or
Sure.
anything
It sounds
else.
cool.
So, no, I didn't question it. But people ask me, "Are you English?" Because it's and different things like that. And I looked it up, and I found out that it was wizard, witch, warrior, something. All
Yeah.
the two of the three anyway. But no, I have said, but I don't abide to any of the names that it represents. It was given to me by a
Sure.
friend of mine, and so it is what it is. I can't change it now.
It's a very catchy name. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's a great.
Well,
That's
when
like a
he gave
radio
it,
name.
when
I mean,
Jerry Vance gave the name to me, he said they can spell it two ways: WOR or WAR. He said I'd prefer WAR, right? And he said, but they won't forget it, and they haven't.
right.
And
No,
that's the reason
no.
Lance, whose name is Yuckenflutz, his real last name is Yuckenflutz. So
Nobody can spell it, including me.
yeah. Well, it's the FLUTZ that gets him. He doesn't
Sure.
know
I
exactly how
thought
to.
it was a PH.
You got the yuck in there good, but the flutz, that's what.
The floods.
Oh, wow. Wow. See, all this time I thought Warlock was his real last name. I didn't know this. This is a weird.
You didn't?
No, I had
Yeah.
no clue.
Well, see, more people know me. My house, my cars, everything in LA was in the name of Warlock.
Yeah.
Right. That's all anybody out there knew me for, unless they knew me personally. And I told them my real name's Lemming, with one M and no F.
That's the same with me. John Roberts isn't my real name. I answer to so many different names. People that have known me forever will call me by what I went by in high school. People I knew after high school will call me by my original real name, which I use for a radio name.
What is it?
Now I've been using, my real name is Robert.
Okay,
Robert John Raymond.
Okay.
And they told me I had to switch my names at the one radio station. So I switched my middle and my last name and just John Roberts and added an S. And now more people, even though I'm not on the radio anymore, that's how I'm known as. So that's what I keep going by.
Okay.
It's like being Warlock or Lemming, when I'm back home, people know me as Rob or Robbie. When I'm around here, I'm John or Johnny or JR or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
just don't call me late for lunch.
That's right.
There you go. There you go.
Well, like with me too, my nickname's Frankie. But, most people call me Frankie more than they call me Sean. But I prefer that. It sounds.
Yeah,
cool.
Lance referred to you as Frankie, not Sean.
Yeah, and I'm just Lance. It's
and
just
by the way,
Lance.
earlier today, I changed the name that shows up on screen to Warlock. But then when I shut everything down and when I started it up today, I just noticed when I came on, it's Lemming again.
Huh.
So it's not something that
yeah.
stays there. So I have to remember to put it up, the other name.
Sure, sure.
Hey, at least you
Whatever.
don't have a
What
couple
do you-
girls' names up there like some of us do.
Yeah, I know. Mine's pretty funny because it just doesn't even make sense at all. I mean, I guess it could work, but
What?
my name, my screen name, Lance Dana.
Got one of those people with two first names.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I know why it says
Dana.
that.
Well, sure. It's just I don't even think that I was able, if I remember right, we set that up because we couldn't even put the and sign. It was a first name and a last name, and I'm like, weird. So that's what we did, trying to say Lance and Dana, but didn't work.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah, that
it all
accomplished
comes
what you
out now.
wanted.
Nobody is who they say they are. I mean,
Oh.
Well, not
everything
any
is-
in our world anyway.
Yeah, it's all just
yeah.
it's been
Arnold
make believe.
Schwarzenegger was about as close as you could get to somebody who said, "That's my name, man. I'm good. That's what
Yeah,
I
deal
do."
with it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
And
don't
you
like it, I tear your face off.
and haven't you've had the pleasure of being taken out by him?
Arnold?
Yeah,
No,
didn't
that
he
was
take?
Gene LaBelle.
Oh, Gene took you out in Commando. Arnold, that wasn't
Oh
him.
no, that was Arnold. Yes, he didn't take me out.
Oh,
Remember, I said, "Halt, or I'll shoot!" Right, and then the girl come over and said, "No, you won't." Down the steps I went.
she took you out. Yeah,
Now,
that's right. Radar.
Gene LaBelle took me out. We were working on Switch, a Robert Wagner TV series years ago, and I'd done a little fall like about the height of this room here onto a pad, and they were off doing something else, and a bunch of us guys were laying around on the pad, and Gene was there, and I started teasing. Do any of you guys know who Gene LaBelle is?
I think I've heard the name before, but I'm not too familiar with the work.
He's probably one of the baddest men on the planet at that time. I mean, he was a
Okay.
UFC guy, he was a wrestler, he was a boxer, and he's a stunt guy. And
Okay.
I won't even go on with the story then if you don't know who he is.
I've heard
He,
the last name, but I don't really know.
he choked out about 2,000 guys over his lifetime. I was 2001, I think. But I said, "Yeah, Gene, choke me out. Do that choke out thing. I want to see what it feels like." He said, "No, I don't want this." So he kept putting me
Wow.
off. And I said, "Well, it's just like that fake wrestling that you do where you wear that mask one time and you go back in the
Oh.
back and come on." Okay. He put his arm around my neck. He said, "Count backwards from 10." I think I got to 9.5, maybe. I was out, man.
You
I
have a
woke up
headache when you
face
woke up?
down on the pad, and he's rubbing my back and says, "You okay?" Yeah, I'm okay. But I had a sore throat for a couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene is very
Call a bruised
infamous.
larynx.
He's one heck of a nice guy. He's just passed away last year or the year before. Was it last year?
It might have been.
Yeah. What a great guy,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
He just
One
lost
of those
Conrad
unbelievably.
Palmisano. You ever meet
Yeah.
Conrad? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I remember for some reason going to his house.
Conrad's or
I
Gene?
feel like it was Conrad's. I mean, Gene was more we did dirt biking with Gene, and the house I remember, if anything, was going to Bob Yerkes's because you
Yeah.
could see the whole trapeze set from the corner of what was he, White Oak or something and whatever.
Yeah, White Oak and Balboa.
So
No, Roscoe and White Oak.
okay. And so I
Yeah.
mean, all of that stuff, and I mean, I still get a kick out of watching things like that.
Yeah.
Just because.
Just because. I
Yeah.
see so many guys in these old movies that I've worked with, and it's just really, and most of them are gone. I'm one of the oldest guys left of my era.
Sure. Well, and what do you say when okay, so we've got a birthday coming
Are
up.
we holding you up, Sean?
No, you're
Okay.
we're- We're good.
What would you say would be your like official year that you would say your career started?
65, 66. I mean, oh, you mean that I got in the union and my first movie was 1960.
Okay.
Ballad of a Gunfighter with Marty Robbins.
Yeah.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
listened to that
I fell in
soundtrack
love with
many
a
times.
Mexican
Mexican
girl.
girl, nighttime would find me in Rosa's
Let's start
cantina.
singing one now.
Music
El
would
Paso
play
City
and
was the best.
Felina would whirl.
Wait a minute. I thought that was the Man from Nantucket song.
No.
No. Okay.
Kentucky.
No, the man was from Nantucket.
So
It was
the
so
one-
long he could never mind. Yeah,
So-
don't. That were the days when I used to swear a lot. And you got me swearing now in the Red Dead. I say damn once in a while, and what the hell? I don't. I'm slipping back into that. I don't want to
Now-
even.
if when a guy starts in 1960 and is
Yeah.
working in that type of an industry, was there a thing as a stunt double? I mean, I am so and so's stunt double, or was it just no? I happen to have doubled him in this show, but was that a thing?
No. Hal Needham was in probably about the same time I was, or maybe a year or two before that. But
For our
he
young
made
folks,
sure
who did Hal double?
Burt Reynolds mostly,
Okay,
but he
I just
doubled a
wanted
lot
to-
of guys. I just saw him in one of John Wayne's features on and he was in that. He did a lot of stuff with Wayne. Richard Boone's double for a long time on that show that he did. He was Burt Reynolds double from the beginning on Gunsmoke when he was the blacksmith. Anyway. Well, good night, boys.
But the stunt double thing wasn't necessarily a thing.
He said,
where-
"Don't tell anybody, but that the actors don't do the stunts. Don't be
Right.
talking about stunt work."
Right.
And then when he got ready, sat down and wrote "Smoking the Bandit," and then he wrote Hooper. Remember Hooper?
Oh, I
Where they
love
told-
Hooper.
He told all the secrets. He said, "It's okay, guys." And everybody saying, "Well, you schmuck! I mean, you tell us not to talk about it. Yeah." He was a fun guy. Hal was.
Did you have to wear lifts to play Michael Myers? Because you're short.
Well-
You would have been great Tom
well-
Cruise double now because of your size.
Yes, I'm same size he is. He's 5'8". I was 5'9". I had 2 knee replacements, and my back, there's 2 or 3 compressed vertebrae down in the back, lower back, and I didn't even know about until this year. But now I'm 5'8". Anyway, I bought engineer boots that had the big heel on them, bigger than cowboy boots. I got a pair of them downstairs, and then I put a lift, which it's cork with leather on top of it, and it starts about that thick and goes up to whatever they want. So I was right at 6 foot, and that's how tall Nick was in the movie. So it's comparable. And if you notice, next time you watch it, if you ever watch it again, there's a lot of shots that are shot up at me.
Sure.
Now the
Make you
walkway
look
down the
taller.
hallway, you couldn't tell, but when it gets close,
Yep.
they're shot at an upward angle, which have made it appear taller.
Yeah, it makes everything look bigger. I'm a fisherman, and we take pictures of fish. You make sure you can make a medium-sized fish look like a ginormous, like a huge fish. You just
Yeah.
got to know how to the camera angles, how to make
Hold
a
it out
picture.
there.
Yep, and come down a little low, going up, and
Sure.
yeah,
Like make
thing's
the
huge.
pencil look bigger than my head, boy. And when you bring it in,
Yep.
it's
Uh-huh.
oh yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
Hollywood tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which,
fishermen
like you
started
say,
that
It's been
show.
fun.
Which, like you say, though, the tricks were never unveiled. And now that there's YouTube and everything, I mean, so many things with the was it probably what the advent of the DVD when they would start adding extra features, and then so some of the extra features was behind the scenes, and I mean, people just eat that up. I mean, I'm
they
one of
do.
them. You know,
It's the bloopers, and
absolutely.
you know, the behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that too.
So as somebody who's been in the entertainment industry for as long as you have, what do you think of the days now of streaming against physical media? Because you know some places aren't selling discs anymore, like Best Buy and all that are going to be closing down. I went to Best Buy today to buy some stuff, but I'm a movie collector and film watcher and all that stuff. I like good films and everything. Do you do a lot of physical buying, or do you stream a lot, or are you?
I don't stream at all.
Okay.
I don't stream at all. I have Prime, you know, and whatever's on that string that comes with a smart TV, Hulu and Banjo and whatever they have.
Yeah.
But my wife likes Prime, and other than that, I watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I watched an hour and a half of TV bloopers, the Carol Burnett show last night before I went to bed.
Oh.
I mean, you know, that's the kind of stuff. It just
watch that
entertains
all
me.
day long.
I love
day
Tim
long.
Conway and
Harvey
Korman.
Or Harvey Korman, yeah.
I'll tell you a little secret. Not many people know this. You ever see Blazing Saddles?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You remember when
100
Harvey
times.
Korman, the fight was going on in the cafeteria, and he's looking around, and he goes into a room, and he comes back out, and he's got a pie in his face.
Yeah.
I was back there and hit him in the face with the pie.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now you can't even hardly get Blazing Saddles because it's not politically correct.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a racist movie.
Yeah.
I see that hurts me. That hurts me.
Yeah, Mel's made some very good stuff. I would think that what people should probably do is go watch History of the World Part 1 right now, and maybe we go back to that sort of.
Or they get rid of it all, like they are with their statues and everything else. You know,
looking at it seriously.
Good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's history, you know. And he makes fun of all that stuff.
There's a history with Mel Brooks and his humor. It's Yiddish Jewish humor. Now the way so many people are popping up at being against the Jews about what's going on with that whole thing with Hamas and everything, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of inner hatred that's coming out. So that's part of it, I think. And when you put the whole package together,
don't know any better. Yeah. And there's so many people now that just hate everything. They hate everything, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, just because there's something funny, 90% of the people might think it's funny because it offended you. Big deal. Wait around for a minute. They'll say something that might not offend you. It's you have to be so guarded now. Everything is so guarded, and who am I going to offend? And don't worry, you'll offend somebody no matter what you say.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But,
yeah.
Well, you know, there's
me being in the media. At the point now, I don't even like saying I'm in the media because media has such a bad stigma now.
I don't think I have any fans. When they find out I was in Blazing Saddles, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I like that. That was good." But I don't have a fan base other than Halloween 2. But I've had a number of people who have been, I don't know what you might call it, discriminatory, but I don't. Well, he was too short, or he didn't walk right, or he didn't do this right, or he didn't do that right. That's their opinion, and they have a right to it. You know, it doesn't bother me. You know, I see the check come in the mail every week or whatever. I really don't care. I don't think, you know, Lance and I will talk a little bit about it, but What?
Yeah, like with our shows, we're not biased at all. Anybody can come on our shows. The only ones that have never been on my shows in 4 years are Democrats. That's for a different show, though. And I do invite them on. They just won't come on.
I don't understand that.
Or should I say liberals? Okay. We were
Well,
not going to turn this into a political show, though. Sorry.
Well, I understand that, but
Well, I've
but
had a few.
I don't, it'd be a good platform to, as long as it doesn't get to where it's confrontational. If you can just share your feelings, it's like, do you ever watch The Five in the afternoon?
That's the last thing I want.
Have you ever watched The Five on Fox?
Yeah.
Do you know that Jessica Karloff, that character?
Yeah.
She talks like this and she talks through her nose constantly.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, I used to know that voice just grated me, but now I'm used to it. And this woman is smart. She's really smart. Well, I think all of them on there are
most of them are
pretty bright people, but she presents her things in a way that can be grating, but I'll watch her. I mean, I'll listen to everything she's got to say, and a lot of what she says is truth, and some of it is an exaggeration. But then there's another guy on there, Harold. What's his last name? He's a Democrat, and they kind of, Harold has a whole different, sophisticated way of presenting some of the same opinions, but it's very palatable. It goes down like chocolate milk or something, you know what I mean? And it's just how you present what your opinion is. But if they came on and were with you, would you be confrontational with them, or would you just?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. That's not what I do. It's just I think they know which way I feel, which way I lean, which way no, I would never do that. There's some people in our area, local government, that the last person they want to see is me.
Yeah.
But the majority of them all like us. I tell you what, if you tell the truth and you speak the truth, then if the people that are mad at you, let them be mad at me, because that means they're hiding something. Like it or not, as long as you're talking the truth, it's okay. And that's the way I look at it. And I've never got in trouble yet. I don't make things up. We do a lot of controversial stuff, but as long as you tell the truth, they work,
Well, we feel the truth this way. They feel the truth that way. It's a truth. What they're saying is the truth for themselves. So it's too bad that we can't just coexist and say, okay, you're that way and I'm this way and all's good. I know I have a relative that I really bump heads with, but it gets to where it's too confrontational and too much of this. So we don't communicate a whole lot, because I don't want that.
I have a relative like that too, called my mother.
My mother.
No, humor, but he's had a few. I'm sure. He likes to drink while we're doing the show. So.
My mother's my biggest supporter. She's not with us anymore, but my mom was my biggest supporter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and funny as all get out.
What'd you say?
I said, and funny as all get out.
Yes, she was. And so are you, because I got photographs of my wife and my son, Lance, on each side of her. She's sitting in the middle on the couch, and he's going, and she's doing the same thing. But Mom didn't know they were doing it.
She had no idea.
She never saw those pictures, I don't think.
I don't remember if she did or not, because obviously they were predating any sort of. It would have had to have been a Polaroid for us to see it instantly. So
Yeah,
who
no,
knows when they came out? But I know I have some of those, or from you, or something.
yeah, yeah.
All right, well, guys, I like I said, I really appreciate having you guys both of you on, and Michael Strider as well as my
Yeah.
co-host John Roberts for tonight. He's normally on here all the time. Plus, we have four other people, but we didn't want to bombard you with too many people, so I had to pick one person on my crew to join me. But
Now, can they
Yay,
watch
John!
this? Can they watch this as it's
we're
being
live.
going?
We've been live on Facebook pretty much since the start of the show. We started over 2 hours
You mean
ago.
all these things I talked about is you're not going to edit anything out?
Well, fuck no.
Oh boy.
What fun is that?
Who does editing?
What
dude?
fun is
No.
that?
Well, I did go on a show where he did edit it out. It was the price I sold one of my items for.
Okay.
I said, I'll tell you if you promise to edit it out. And sure enough, he did. He put music or something over it.
Oh, okay. Well,
No
I mean,
That was
top
actually-
secret
we
stuff
just
on this
do-
show.
We mostly just improvise what we say. You know, I
Yeah,
don't really
well,
write down questions anymore like I used to.
it's like he said, it's the truth, right, Sean?
Yeah, that's right. That's
Mhm.
right.
Yep.
So I think that should do it for this interview. I don't really have any more other questions. I mean, I know most of you guys were kind of going back and forth, and that's fine because I love this, and I love the fact that our audience had a chance to see Lance and Dick and hear Michael Strider again. Michael comes on once in a while. Anytime I have a big guest that he's worked with or whatever, so we've known each other for just as long as I've known Lance. Except
That's the way Nick Castle is with Sean Clark.
Oh
He
yeah,
just Sean always sends him the link, and he comes in once in a while. He came in one night when I was on there. We had a lot of fun. The first thing he said is, "Where's my mask?"
I'd love
Anyway.
to get him on. That'd be great. You know, I mean, I told Mike, I said, you know, if you know anybody that you work with a lot of people, so anybody that you know that would be good for the show, let me know because I'm always open to new guests and stuff. Because most of the people that I've interviewed these last couple seasons or whatever, I've interviewed before. You know, but
Yeah.
we've had some new people on too that we've never interviewed before. So it's kind of a mix, more or less, is what.
Yeah.
But for
Well,
anybody
was-
that wants to know more about you, Dick, or even you, Lance, I mean, like, for how would they do that? I mean, is this podcast actually going to happen that you guys are talking about, or is it just kind of up in the air?
I don't know if I could get the information right, Lance. If we could get the how to, because
That's what
we could get the equipment. That's not a problem. He's got some pretty good equipment already for his music. You know
Sure.
the drumming thing and all that. But
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I think that we've definitely kicked some stuff around and be kind of fun. We'll
Yeah.
see.
What
And
you guys
happy-
got going on right now is good enough to start. I mean, we
'Cause
can hear
see-
you both good, and see you both good.
well, see, I've got so many people in the industry that I can call on, stunt guys
Yeah.
and actors and directors.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of people there that I could call on to be on and just talk about
Heck
their
yeah.
lives.
And as I
Right,
said,
right.
and as I said, I'm serious. I'm not just saying this we're live or whatever. If you do need a helping hand, Lance can
Yeah.
reach out to me. He has my number. I have his number. So if you need help,
Okay.
I'll help you.
All right.
I ain't gonna charge nobody. You guys been nice to come on my show. I don't, that's a bigger gift that I can ask for. So
And I love the shirt, by the way. That is
Oh.
so. I mean, look,
MTV.
I know that you can't, Frankie, but I can remember when that started. And that was one of those secondary musical things that changed my entire life was MTV. So bravo
for a long
to the
time.
old look and everything. I
I'm
love it.
surprised it's so
Video killed the radio star.
Well, okay, now and you do know that Hans Zimmer is in that band.
No.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is the keyboard player in that band, which was the first video on MTV, and of course,
First
we
video,
all know
yeah,
where
yeah.
we all know where Hans Zimmer ended up. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Wow, cool.
There
Yeah,
you
go
go.
back and look at it. He's so young.
I will.
It's so bizarre to see it. But yeah, I had to pay
Wow.
homage to the shirt because I remember the Moon Man, and the MTV was just life changing.
Oh yeah, you
Yep,
can buy
yep.
all that stuff now at Walmart now. They got the Moon Man figures now at Walmart. You can
Love
buy
it. Love it.
Did
Well,
you
I
ever
love you.
tell them?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't want to
I
interrupt
was gonna
that.
say I
Go ahead.
love you guys too. So whatever else left over to say, you might as well go ahead and say because we've been out here for quite a while. So I'm sure John's getting ready to pass out. He looks like it anyway.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask
Checking
Lance
stuff
if
out. I
he
don't know what
ever.
the deal is, man. I've had 3 beers.
Oh, okay.
He's got to get his picture fixed. You got to do something with your picture.
Who, me?
Oh,
Rob,
yeah,
Rob.
Robert. Yeah,
All right.
we'll pick it on you. That's
It
all.
bounces in and out. Anyway, I asked Lance, did you ever tell Frankie the story of the picture that we were talking about here? I don't know whether he could see it, but let me see if it'll focus up. It's not going to focus up. There it is.
See it a little bit. Is that Lance right there in the drum set?
That's Lance on the
Yeah.
drum set
Oh,
from a Disney movie that I was working on. I had to learn to play the drums, so they sent that drum set and a record with the music, and I had to learn to play it, right?
yeah.
And of course, one of these days he'll tell you the story, I guess.
I mean, that was it. I don't even recall how old I would have been. It probably
I
was
was four,
5,
four
4.
or five, 4 or 5.
And I mean, I couldn't, all
More
I
like
can remember,
4.
I couldn't even get through dinner. I had to go out and get back to the living room to just, I don't remember what I needed to do, but it bit me something pretty hard back then.
Well,
That was the genesis of his musical career.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
an early rock and roller, man. That's what it
Well,
was.
and like I've said too, and as a thank you, that both my parents never put a restriction on the music to listen to. You guys always had music on. I mean, it was just prevalent that I don't remember having limitations. I mean, in the mid 70s, I'm buying Kiss records.
Mhm.
It was just listening to the LA AM radio and growing up on all of what is now so legendary that's filed in my backlog of wow. I feel like
KFWB, was that
no, KHJ.
KHJ? Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I know it changed me, and and all the time that I spent listening and just being absorbed with it. And of course, we're talking the days of albums when you can pull out and read the entire liner notes, which is all I ever did. So I always looked at credits, probably because you were always in credits, and I just constantly read all that. Now I spend $1 and I download a song, and it's not the same, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
of which, I guess I do have one last question. That'd be for Lance, I guess it would be. You have kids, obviously, and did they not take up the music bug at all?
So let's see. The way I word it, as our oldest is got an amazing ear. It's like you could play a note on a piano, and
Uh-huh.
he, over a phone, I've heard him do this, and he'll hum the note, and then he'll almost be able to tell you exactly which one it is. He doesn't really play piano, and he's not that proficient. The middle son, no interest at all, but absolutely loves to listen to it. And then
Okay.
our youngest uh, took on the drums, but in a more marching style with his high school, and well, through junior high and high school. And then ultimately, he and his drumming partner, their senior year of high school, won the state competition, and they came in first place for a percussion solo or duet. And so now it's just an amazing appreciation. He was on the Seahawks. Obviously, they've got a drum line. Blue Thunder is pretty popular for us, and he was a member of Blue Thunder. And
Huh.
so, but they all appreciate it unbelievably, and that's what I love. And then
Yeah.
their range is pretty wide.
Do they appreciate having a legendary grandfather as well? No, no.
They're old. They're all old now. They
Oh.
Not
used
so
to
much.
it.
Yeah, no.
They're
Yeah.
used to it. You
Yeah.
know, it's a thing when it becomes what you know, that's just what you know.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing. I mean, growing up is the same way. That's what I knew. I didn't know any different. It wasn't ever abused or taken advantage of. I knew it was pretty special, but at the same token, when that's all you know, you just go, yeah, okay,
Sure.
that's cool.
Sure. Well, all right, man.
Okay.
We appreciate you, and thanks again, Dick and Lance and Michael and John and everybody.
Thanks
that
for
was
letting me
listening.
tape that latter part there. Okay.
Yeah, hey, no problem. You
I
use
can
it
show
like
it to
you
my
want.
wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
It'll,
fun.
it'll take a little bit to download, but it'll be fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
fun.
I appreciate all you guys, and thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for being part of Renegade Radio.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Got it,
Nice
man.
meeting you, Rob.
Bye bye.